Mais il sait ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que
What's going on, everybody?
mes doigts.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from a very special location. Ain't no way, real voice. Oh no, Ben Shapiro voice? Oh fuck, here we go. I gotta fix that. Classic Roadcaster mishap. Classic. Hold on, I don't know how to fix it, even. Wait, maybe this is it?
Hello? What about now? Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Or is it still busted? Hello. Get March. March is not here, and I can't even reach him via phone. So, is it actually fixed? Or are you guys lying to me? Oh, it's fixed. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from Havana, Cuba. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Havana, Cuba. We're live, we're alive, and it is a beautiful day. It's a freaking Friday. It's fixed, aka the voice changer is on now. Okay, guys, why did you have to do the air horn to fix it? Wait, was that the air horn? I'm hitting the wrong button. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very special day. It's a very special day. And obviously, you might be thinking, is it a special day because you are in Havana, Cuba? Well, that's part of it. But it's also a special day because it's Friday. And as is the case, every Friday, you already know what we do out here.
It's Friday then.
Rain or shine, baby.
Saturday,
Even
Sunday,
if we
what?
are in...
It's Friday then.
Even if friggin' Cuba, baby. You already know what's up. We are celebrating the long and hard battles that our forefathers fought long and hard for every Friday. If you feel a sense of purpose in your life because you have a free moment to yourself, a sense of autonomy, think a labor union, think a socialist. It might be effing a little bit, but it's all good. It's going to F a little bit for sure. It'll happen every now and then. But yeah, that's right. We're here. We're live. We're alive. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news, about what's going on in the world of HasanAbi Piker. Eid Mubarak, by the way. Eid Mubarak to those who celebrate. Tell us everything. Horn and voice are fine. They're just messing with you, Mufasa King. So where do I begin? First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in Havana. Yesterday, I ended the broadcast after a half-day Hasi 3-hour broadcast, and you were like, what's going on? 3 hours? I mean, that's not what I paid for. What the hell, Leonte? And the situation is, hold on, check to see if we're cooking. Nope. Okay. There's gonna be some cuts. It's gonna get patchy every now and then. All right. So I did a 3-hour broadcast. I flew to Miami. Okay. I flew to Miami. And then after I flew to Miami, I woke up. I went to sleep. It was spring break. Miami is the most cursed place on the planet, by the way, especially during spring break. Oh my God. Absolutely abysmal vibes. Flew to Miami real quick. And then I did not watch the Lakers in Miami. I went to bed, woke up super early, and we got on a plane and we flew to. We had a full charter, filled with activists, politicians, media, broadcasters, and full of good stuff. You know, medicine, food, and most importantly, solar panels. And we flew in and we got into Cuba. And ever since we got into Cuba, I dumped all my stuff. I got to home base, and I've been literally trying to set everything up. Did you talk to Jezza? I did not. I haven't seen a single damn person. I just, just my contacts here. I came in with the big group and it was great, but I've just been literally trying to get this up and running for like the past couple of hours. Okay? And you can see it in my face right here. I'm a wet, hot mess. Okay? It's hot as hell out here. It is hot as freaking hell out here in Havana, Cuba. Okay? And we're gonna be talking to some real Cubans. We're gonna be roaming around. I have a bunch of interviews that are ready to go, ready to rip. But obviously, the internet is like not the most reliable out here. So this is the most stable. This is the most stable it'll be, and that's it. That's the situation. God, my hair is out of control. Bro, you look like a corpse. How are you that white? I think the color is a little crazy on this camera today. I don't know why, but yeah, I've made it. Made it to Havana, Cuba, and spotted Brace Belden, March, Ryan Grimm. Yeah, I was sitting right next to them, but I guess I didn't make it on the camera here. But yeah, this is the flight. I have not met anyone yet. Stop asking me if I met your favorite people. I didn't see the Kneecap Boys yet. Are you okay? You look tired. I'm insanely tired, Chatter. What do you think? I just flew from Los Angeles to Miami, got like 3 hours of sleep, landed in Miami, got 3 hours of sleep, and then flew to Cuba. Yeah, I'm tired and I'm pasty and I'm white. I'm looking white as hell. I know. But yeah, we have some very cool interviews and stuff lined up, which will be off the stream. Unfortunately, most of the interviews will be off the stream because it's like very difficult to. One, it's very difficult to get around. It's not as bad as like you would think, but it's still obviously a bit of a pain to get around. And also on top of that, there's severe limitations here. The energy grid is currently stable, luckily, but as you guys know, the energy grid was taken out for like 24 hours. So, but first things first, Cubans, the fucking best people. Okay, so kind, so welcoming, just the best, just the absolute best people. Oh my lord. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, we worked hard and we were able to set up a goddamn stream, Not in Miami. Oh, dude, it's the reversal. Actually, literally like the exact opposite. Like all the good Cubans stayed here and most of the ones that are crazy just like flew up there. I swear to God. I had a really funny experience with that. It's like we get in the car. March and I were about to discuss our plans of going to Cuba. Hold on. It's gonna get better in a second. Calma. It's a little bit laggy. Okay, it's back. All right, so March and I were about to discuss. We get into Uber last night. March and I are about to discuss that we're gonna be flying to Cuba, like talking about plans, right? And I was like, March, don't say anything, because I noticed that the dude in the car was a Miami Cuban. I was like, I literally went, don't say anything. And then I just asked him, I was like, where are you from? And he's like, oh, Cuba. And I was like, okay. And I just asked him about like, what his feelings are about what's going on. March actually spat some Spanish at him. Okay. And let me tell you, okay, he said, Donald Trump needs to finish the job. That's what he said. That was the first guy. And this is like, I guess this was March's first real interaction with like a Miami Cuban. You know what I mean? This was his first ever interaction with a real Miami Cuban, like a real ass Miami Cuban, right? So he was like kind of shocked. And I know what the stream Fs look like, Megaphonics. I'm monitoring it. I'm monitoring the situation and I'm monitoring the stream as well. So March had not experienced that at all. So that was like his first ever inclination. And the guy had no family here. They were all in Miami, right? So like, obviously he was the classic, like, bomb it all, like God sorted out type guy. And then this morning we had another conversation, but this guy was actually so on Trump. And he was still like, oh, the government is like stealing everything. It's bad, blah, blah, blah. Communism is bad. But he was a little bit more open-minded because I was able to like talk to him about the embargo, right? I was able to talk to him about the embargo and how like when Obama opened it up, because I asked him like, what do you think about Obama? And he was like, he's so-so. he didn't like Donald Trump as much, but he didn't like Barack Obama either. But he was like so on Obama. So I was like, so how did it? Because he had family. He had family here, right? So I was like, how did it work out for you and your family? Like, was it a little bit easier when was it a little bit easier when Obama was opening it up? It was a little bit of sanctions relief, and he actually admitted that it was, things were better. Like in his mind, I feel like there's this it's a very strange predicament. It's a very strange situation because like in his mind, he understands, like his experiences, his family's experiences, he understands that sanctions relief was good, but he still thinks there has to be sanctions, or some Miami Cubans will say there's no embargo, there's no sanctions anyway. That's a lie too. But deep down inside, he kind of gets it. He just cannot comprehend. Like he doesn't put two and two together. Where I'm like, okay, well, shouldn't that be the direction that we move in, right? Instead of what Trump is doing, right? And it's it's the strangest predicament I have ever been a part of, where people just, they have this very weird attitude about it. They have this very weird attitude about it. On the one hand, they understand what their families' lives looked like or felt like when there was a little bit of sanctions relief, and like they could send money with ease to their families. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a strange cognitive dissonance to experience in real time. But I gave a couple interviews at the airport and stuff, and then we flew in. And I dumped my bags, and I'm here. I'm literally, I was setting this up, trying to make sure that, trying to make sure that I can do a full blown stream for you guys from freaking Havana, Cuba, God damn, this is loud. But yeah, super proud of you for doing this trip. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. The Cubans are incredible. Is it just two-sided, Castro or Batista, or do anything Miami Cuban understand it was bad before the revolution? It depends on who you're talking to. If they literally worked, if their grandparents had like sugar plantations or like sugar factories, right? Like they obviously think it was fucking sweet when Batista was in charge, or even before Batista, right? Because like Cuba's political problems historically didn't even begin with just Batista. It's been an ongoing issue. That's why the revolutionaries will say Cuba was not a republic in 1901, right? Because when Cuba gained independence, it actually didn't gain independence. It gained independence from Spain, but it didn't actually gain independence because it was still locked in with the United States of America. That's where Guantanamo Bay comes from, for example. So, like, for a lot of people that don't know the history of Cuba, they had a lot of racial issues as well. Cuba is like much more diverse than the United States of America is. Like the Afro Latino population here is around 50-50. The white Spanish colonial rulers actually wanted to keep it like 60-40 to the best of their ability, right? So there's a lot of colorism as well. Well, not anymore, but like there was a lot of colorism in Cuba in its history. There was like protest movements specifically with Black Cubans that wanted to get the same to get the same amenities and the same rights that like white Cubans were getting. And there's a lot of cross-pollination both on the white supremacist racism side of like white Cubans working with white Americans, and then also with Black Cubans working with Black Americans. Now this is of course pre-revolution, pre-Batista. I'm talking about the 1900s, right? 1900s onwards, 1920s, 1930s, and then Batista comes in, and he's a ruthless autocrat. He's a ruthless tyrant, and of course, then the Cuban Revolution happens, and the Cuban Revolution is actually different than the previous ownership over Cuba, because the Cuban pseudo republic, if you want to call it that, pre-revolutionary Cuba was mixed as well. But the pre-revolutionary was an amendment that made it so that America could militarily invade it, and oftentimes did at the behest of the ruling class. So this is post-revolutionary Cuba, an agrarian, national, social revolution before it became a socialist communist revolution. This revolution actually did away and gave Cubans full autonomy, and equal rights and representation. Now, of course, maybe not for the gays initially, but like, that's obviously been patched. But my point is like pre-communist revolution, Cuba was still a vassal, an island, maybe not as directly considered a territory like Puerto Rico, but something in between, right? Whereas revolutionary Cuba, post-communist revolution, is a truly independent country, which is the reason why I'm bringing up all of this, is because these financial entanglements that Americans have with Cuba, the assets that they owned, whether it was the banking system or the sugar plantations, or even the deep ties that the casinos and the tourism industry had here with American corporate benefactors, has existed for long before, has existed for a very long time. It actually was a big part of the reason why this revolution took place to begin with. These people were not being adequately represented. Their needs were not being represented. There was prostitution, child prostitution. There was widespread illiteracy. The countryside didn't have. What do you get me? March got me. We don't got red. What is this? XL energy drink. Yeah. March got me an energy drink. XL energy drink.
Hi, chat. No, I'm Mauricio.
Mauricio. Yeah. Bro, he's been spitting, by the way. He just fucking stays spitting. Okay? Why'd you take the brand off? Oh, okay. Oh my God, this is my first bottle of water in Cuba. I have been parched. Cuban water? Oh my God. Oh my God. Really? That's crazy. He just walked in. She just walked in, monitored the situation, and fucked off. Yeah. Okay, that was cool. There's a little puppy in here, but she barked at March quite a bit, so I don't know. You visiting La Plaza de la Revolucion? Sure. I'll be visiting everything. You got to do the Cuban coffee, my guy. Shit is so damn fire. Brother, okay. We don't have, we have very limited options here in terms of, movement, okay? So I'm locked in here. I was giving you guys the history and the background and why, when you meet a white Cuban sometimes in the United States of America, especially, they have a very different attitude overall about the country and its governance and its sovereignty than the Cubans living in Cuba. It just goes in and out a little bit, but it's fine. It is what it is, especially when it gets windy. But all right, I'm about to try this. Cuban separatists spearheaded independence from Spain on the basis of racism, specifically anti-black racism, comprised of mostly white Spaniards and landowners. Separatists wanted freedom from the Spanish crown because they wanted less slaves on the island and hated the potential for more Africans being brought to the island and outnumbering white Spaniards. Yeah, the other interesting side of it, though, is that some of the Spanish that they were basically shipping in order to keep the island white were literally anarchists. So, and they were trade unionists. So basically what ended up happening is a big part of the initial communist movement and the formation still has that white identity associated with it as well. Obviously, of course, the racial component still very much existed, but ironically enough, some of the whites that they brought from Spain literally were the trade unionists and the trade unionists and the anarchists that were yeah, we got to do fucking union strike. We got to do strikes. We got to do demonstrations. So yeah, where did you read this? It is actually a book that I'm reading currently. March might have it with him. Actually, is a book called Cuba. Is the history of Cuba. That's the book I'm reading currently. But yeah, this is good. Speaking of Cuba, Russia is hopefully, inshallah, sending crude to the island, so that's pretty chill. Ada Ferrera's Cuba and American History, that might be the book. I mean, I can go look at it. But the weather is brilliant. The weather is beautiful. The island is sick. The vibes are fucking incredible. These people are unimaginably resilient. It totally makes sense. When you come here, you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, there's issues with the energy grid. Food doesn't keep. No refrigeration, right? But then also at the same time, these guys are chillers. All right, they're fucking chillers, dude. I don't know how else to describe it. They're just like, what are you gonna do? This is our life. This has been our life for decades. You know, the Yankees have brought this about, and it is what it is. I wish things were better, but what are you gonna fucking do? That's low key the attitude, and it's very cool. Thank you, Themasius, for the playlist. Are you jet lagged? I don't think so. But yeah, you don't need fridges when you're chill as fuck is right. That's true. You got food and you didn't give me some? Oh, you didn't get anything from the store? There was nothing in the store? How was this? I'm good. I'm good actually. How was the store? Did you see any trees or was it, it's not a lot. Okay. Yeah, you can explain the situation. I won't be able to hear they won't be able to hear you though cuz the noise gate's heavy. Multiple stores? Uh-huh. Little bodegas, people's homes. Oh, they didn't even have water. Some of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit's scarce. Not a lot of not a lot of commerce options out here. Not because of communism. Okay, before people freaked out about that. Trees under socialism. Yeah. So, have you met up with any of the other activists that arrived at the island, brother? I came with them. We've been out here together. They're currently at a big meeting with the president and the welcome committee and all that, but I'm not there because I had to set this stuff up because I have an obligation, a duty, and this is my life. This is what I do. How's Brace doing? Brace is doing great. Hung out with him a lot, kissed him a lot. We kissed. A little bit of cut there, a little not great. Little break off there, but it's all good. We're gonna get better. Internet's gonna get better. Lesbian lighting. Okay, yeah. How was Medea Benjamin? Yes, I met my queen, Medea Benjamin. She was brilliant. She was wonderful. She's the queen. Bro streamers at a meeting the Cuban president. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got some stuff going on. I got some stuff dialed in. Okay, calm down. So as far as the boat situation goes, we were originally gonna do a boat. We were originally gonna do a flotilla. But then the situation is fluid. The reason why we didn't do the flotilla is because from America, it's much more difficult to pull off a flotilla, and we could bring more aid this way. So we packed a fucking cargo plane filled to the brim with aid, and we flew it. We flew it instead. The reason why I was a little bit evasive about like how we were gonna go, I'll tell you now that I'm here, and there's not. Like I can't reveal everything to you all the time. I know that you guys are like you're very used to me being like super forthcoming and super transparent with everything. But the reason why I didn't want to reveal what we were doing exactly was for OPSEC. Nothing that we're doing is illegal, obviously, but it doesn't matter because like people, when they find out exactly what the plans are, might try to like fuck it up. Do you understand? Because like in order to do this, like. And this took long ass planning, okay? This took a long ass time to put together. Shouts out to Progressive International, shouts out to Code Pink, Answer Coalition. Like they've been working on this nonstop. And I've been trying to help out to the best of my ability. But like, when like we had to keep certain things under wraps. Like you can't just like deliver humanitarian aid to Cuba without getting approval, clearance from the American government, mind you. Because you could go to Cuba right now. Remember, you could come to Cuba right now. You could fly to Cuba right now and have a wonderful time. It's just that obviously there's limitations to what you can and can't do, born out of the American government's ridiculous restrictions, right? But if we were just out and out talking about what we're talking about our plans, I was worried that someone might someone might actually interfere, right? Does that make sense? Do you understand? But yeah, bye-bye. Have a beautiful time. It is beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful places. It is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my whole life, straight up. Don't you think? It's like, it's literally, it is straight up. Cuba relies on tourism for a major part of the economy, right? I have awkward white American feels going there while we're trying to kill them, brother. Yes, you come here, okay? It doesn't matter. These guys will fucking welcome you with open arms. But yeah, it is truly the most beautiful place I've ever been to. I totally get why Will loved this. Loved Cuba when he visited. and it makes sense. It makes it the nicest people. Yeah, include ropa vieja, pineapple, plantain chips. Please try ropa vieja if you have the chance. Okay, we'll do. All right, let me blast off real quick. Do we have a blast off meme or no? Yeah, live from Havana, Cuba, monitoring the situation. www.twitch.tv. HasanAbi. Blast off meme if you need one. Okay. Bro, the internet when it's working is better than my internet in Los Angeles, like low key. We have rigged it up. We've done some crazy shit out here too. We have we're locked and loaded. We got we bonded numerous CUBA cell SIM cards together. We've been able to get stability in Havana, Cuba, which is, I can't say this enough. It is definitely an impressive feat. Okay, this is I will say it is definitely not something that you can just easily put together. All right, but yeah, fuck. Blast off submission. What is this? Okay, I already. It's too late. I already blasted off. Did you meet Jezza? Not yet. I'm gonna actually text my friends right now. Oh, also shouts out to the HasanAbi head at TSA that let me pass through without giving me too much grief. As I had wads and wads of cash on me. That was really funny because I walked through TSA and I got a fat stack on me. And it looks a lot more than it actually is because it's small bills. That's what they told us. They were like, oh, it's very, you should bring small bills and, just give people money, right? So I came in with this shit, okay? And it looks a lot more than it actually is, okay? So basically what ended up happening is, what? Yeah, I walked in with a brick. It's not actually a brick. It's not actually a brick. Don't worry. But you are so lucky you got a fucking fan. I know, because he was looking at me he's like, bro, you're Hasan. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what the hell is that in your hand? Is that just a brick? What the fuck? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm going to Cuba, and they're all small dollars. Don't worry, it's nothing crazy, bro. You're gonna get robbed, brother. The money is for the people here, okay? So if someone were to rob me of this money, that would be I was gonna give it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just it goes to one guy rather than a bunch of guys. You fucking idiot. Also, there's no guns here. Anyway, yeah, I just realized I was also looking like this. So with the fucking wad, if it wasn't a fan, I would have been cooked. Now that I think about it, if it wasn't a fan, they'd be like, "You're a fucking drug dealer. What the hell is this outfit? You look ridiculous." In any case, I should do a quick text here. You look CIA. Yeah, it's fine. Bro, that TSA agent gonna be in trouble now. It's not illegal, man. It's not illegal to have fucking cash on you. Okay, what the hell? It's not illegal to be moneyed up. Americans not thinking everywhere else. Detroit 80s challenge, impossible difficulty. Yeah. So. Yeah, we blasted off, by the way. I'm alive. Let the people know. Okay, we blasted off. I'm in Havana, Cuba. I appreciate the low buttoning. Have you fomented counter revolution yet? Yeah, dude, totally. Bro, dude, what was I gonna say? Oh, before we get into the situation monitoring, because the situation must be monitored, obviously. What was the last thing I was going to say? Trump is looking for exit ramp, wants someone else to fix the strait. Nice. Great. Is that the mosquito spray? No, I'm good for now. I haven't felt the mosquitoes around me at all yet. Yeah, it's been pretty good. That was a big worry for a lot of people. We're going to monitor in a second. We're going to monitor super fucking hard in a second. I also need to monitor my DMs real quick and my messages. The other issue is when you're not in a hardwired internet area, you're kind of cooked. You have shit. What are you at? I'm at 30. Well, if you have a cable, I mean, should we just waste that or whatever? We'll do it. True. No, I don't have a cable on me. Hold on. I'm like setting up interviews right now. What? Is it not connected to anything? No. Wait, what is that? Strong? Oh, got it. Okay. The dream of the 90s is alive in Cuba? Yeah, it's true. Hold on. Let me get these guys on. Can we set up an interview with Jezza, please? Okay. No, but they hate it and have hardcore cash restrictions. Come on, lol. And to be honest, kind of loving that is hiding from the feds. 90s Wall Street. What? I mean, you can bring cash to Cuba. You should bring hard American cash to Cuba and give it to the people of Cuba. That is one of the best things you could do in Cuba. Obviously, there's restrictions on how much cash you can bring, but it is what it is, right? But Havana used to be comparable to Cancun and Vegas as premier tourist destinations. No, it totally makes sense. One of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in. Beautiful people, beautiful architecture. Everything is amazing here. It's just like what we've done to this country is unfucking bearable, and seeing it in real time also is like very frustrating. First, I was overcome by the beauty of the land and the people, and then I was angry. Okay, especially because like it doesn't have to be this way at all. If we were just like, I'll give Cuba room to breathe, they wouldn't have to suffer at all. It's unfucking bearable when you think about it. But yeah, anyway, what was I gonna say? There was another thing I was gonna bring up. Job, my goal while I'm out here is to conduct as many interviews with like regular Cubans as possible. I'm going to be talking to. Okay, is it back? Is it still gone? Is it still busted? Yeah. It periodically goes in and out. My job out here is to talk to regular Cubans about their struggles, about how they live, their resilience. And my job is to talk to some of the most brilliant people you've ever actually encountered. Like, I'm going to be interviewing a doctor on the Alzheimer's and dementia treatments that they've developed here that are cutting edge. Okay. I'm going to be talking to another doctor about like the energy complications and the grid complications in terms of like conducting surgeries and whatnot. I'm going to be talking to some Palestinian students that are in medical school out here that came from Gaza. Mistaken, like there's Palestinians in Cuba right now going to medical school. Like medicine is the number one thing. Okay, if the Iranians are all fucking STEM lords, Cubans are all medicine lords. Okay, it's literally not Skypea. What's the One Piece country that's all doctors? Their biotech is insane. Okay, they are goated on biotech. They're goated on fucking medicine. It's totally insane. What is on the ground and cutting edge academic professor engagement awareness on repeating the dignity of the people? Yeah, of course. So, like, Iran is the STEM lord nation where they're all fucking engineers. Okay, they all dual majored in like Quranic studies and Kantian philosophy, and then also how to make the craziest missile you've ever seen. And Cuba is the doctor. It's a great doctor. So. Bro, I actually thought you were flotillaing to Cuba. What the hell? First class streamer? Yeah, bro. That's what we were going to do initially. Oh, Drum Island. Thank you. Okay, it's effing quite a bit. It's effing more frequently now. Oh, bro, this is delicious, by the way. Where is this from? XL energy drink? Like, where is it made? It's made in Lexington Avenue in New York. Is this just Red Bull, but reskinned Red Bull? I haven't had a real full strength Red Bull in years, so that's probably what it is. How long are you gonna stay there? Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. Some missiles exploded before ever getting to watch their MIRV targets run on their own 2 jets. Yeah, bro, it's Shred Bull, legally distinct. Yeah, so a lot of people, for example, don't know that Cuba has its own lung cancer vaccine. A lot of people, for example, don't know that Cuba has its own dementia and Alzheimer's treatments that are some of the most cutting edge dementia and Alzheimer's treatments on the planet. So these are the types of things that hopefully I can show people. A lot of people are completely oblivious to the day-to-day existence of regular Cubans. They have like insane opinions because unfortunately the only thing that you hear about Cuba is from Miami Cubans that are incredibly fucking reactionary and will routinely throw, if they have any family members here on the island, routinely throw them under the fucking bus and actively have designed this world where the Cuban government's communism is the reason why the island is poor, and not because and the mismanagement, and not because we have strangled the fucking island. The largest imperial superpower on the planet has strangled this goddamn island that's 90 miles off the coastline of, once again, the hegemonic superpower for 60 years, right? And even longer before then. We have dominated this island for far longer than even the Cuban Revolution. The Cuban Revolution was the first instance where Cuba was able to develop sovereignty and dignity, and we've never stopped punishing them for it. And it is unfucking bearable, and it's incredibly stupid. It is one of the cruelest things that we've done, and it's totally on autopilot, and yet so many people just hear how the conditions look like on the ground, where they're like, Cubans don't have access to running water, they don't have clean water, they don't have any electricity. And it's like, no one asked the question how we got here, and when they do ask that question, people say, oh, it's because of communism. Are you recording the stream on your side? Please do not rely on the bot. No, I'm not, but thank you, chatter. Yeah, we are. The interviews that we're gonna do, we're not gonna do here because there's a lot of limitations to what we can do. Okay, because of the lack of energy, and yeah, the live stream interviews will be recorded. Yeah, we just will we get to see any live streams outside? Potentially, I'm gonna try to see if we can pull one off. We have a system here. We got bonded SIM cards that we could potentially deploy. They don't have internet in Cuba. That's why. Yeah, no, exactly. The Cuban government is scary. They've cut down. They've shut down the internet. It's like that's not the case. One of the as far as the conversation I've had here so far, like people say, this is one of the most responsive, most humane governments out there, which is precisely the reason why America wants to fucking dominate it. It's disgusting. Same argument about financial problems in Iran. I mean, with Iran, at least it's a competent sovereign state that isn't as heavily dominated. It's certainly dominated, but like Iran, due to its proximity and due to its also blossoming energy sector, has been able to design sanctions relief for themselves. Okay, they are still an oil giant. They're a gas giant. So it's not comparable to Cuba. Cuba is a fucking island that is predisposed to hurricane season and natural disasters, and obviously has like agricultural output. At a point, I think it had like a cotton industry, but it doesn't have oil, so it's a little bit more difficult, don't you think, for them to be able to design an alternative system, an alternative economy for themselves, in spite of the sanctions. Channel 4, reading Decaf about the aid convoy. Nice.
Decaf, thank you for us on Channel 4 News. Just want to start, I suppose, by asking you why you do that.
We're here as part of a convoy to help bring humanitarian aid to Cuba and to raise awareness about the collective punishment that's being dealt to the Cuban people here by the Trump administration, and there is an embargo.
Is effing a little bit. Hold on. Whoa. What happened? Why did that happen? Internet go out? Is it still here? No. Power's still on. Why did that? We're back though. Maybe reduce the image quality of the videos you play. I don't know what happened. We just like lost a little bit of power for a second. Freaked me out.
And there has been for a long time here, for over 60 years. But now there's an embargo on oil, which is causing a lot of problems here in Cuba. So we're here to bring awareness. We also bring out humanitarian aid, but also there's 300 kilos of humanitarian aid coming from groups from all around the world.
No. It's from the West America. It's 20 tons. We have personally brought 30 kilos that we've 300 kilos. Sorry, the numbers are all over the place here. But yeah, so I would say it's also important that we're here due to the fact that Irish and Cuban solidarity is something that goes back a long time. And so obviously it's a privilege and an honor to be here. And even under such difficult times, as the Irish understand, you still see the resilience in the Cuban people every day here.
Mm-hmm. And can you give me some sense, just in terms of the local people, the local people you're meeting, like a sense of the sort of hardship they're experiencing as a result of the blockade?
Yeah, we were just walking around this morning there, and you see that even one of the local pharmacies, they're down to the bare bones in their medicines, and there's queues around the corner for people trying to get bread. So the people are hungry as well. Like we know, going back as far as the forced starvation that happened in Ireland, You know, we were supported by the Choctaw people, you know, and the Native Americans who sent over funds to help people who were starving. So,
It's true.
you know, we know.
So did the Ottomans, by the way. Just saying. I mean, you don't have to mention them, but like, yeah, I mean, they did do that for the record. The Turks did
importance
too.
of international solidarity, and that's one of the reasons why we're over here now.
The reality is here is that the struggle and the hardship is to do with the embargoes and the sanctions. It's not the inabilities of the Cuban people to run their own country. It's to do with the embargo that is being placed on them by.
Okay, we're not gonna watch this whole thing. It's 20 minutes long. But yeah, they're doing a great job. I'm proud of them. The boys are great.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for introducing me to Kneecap. Yeah, dude. As soon as this trip was being planned, I knew. I was like, I know one group of artists that would be perfect for this trip. And I hit up Daniel, their manager, and I was like, would the boys be down to do this? And he said, bet. He was like, yup, absolutely. I have not met Diego Avila yet, but I will most likely. I will soon. Okay. Situation monitoring time. Let's get into it for a little bit. I don't know how much time I have. So,
other members of NATO, writing on Truth Social, the US president called other countries cowards over their conduct towards the war with Iran. Let's have a look at that post in full. He says, without the USA, NATO is a paper tiger. They didn't want to join the fight to stop a nuclear-powered Iran. Now that fight is militarily won, he says, with very little danger for them. They complain about the high oil prices they're forced to pay, but don't want to help open the Strait of Hormuz. A simple military maneuver, he thinks, that is the single reason for the high oil price. So easy for them to do with so little risk. Cowards, and we will remember, he finishes, signing it, President Donald J. Trump. Earlier, I spoke to our US correspondent, David Blevins.
His tweet this morning, I think, is much more about pressuring allies to join the United States in its action against Iran than anything to do with NATO capabilities. In fact, some might suggest that he is now preparing for an exit to pass the problem of the Strait of Hormuz to those allies. If we analyse it very briefly, strategically, not that the president necessarily thinks strategically before he posts on Truth Social, I think it is one about leaning on those allies to protect shipping in the Strait as he tries to find a way out of this war now. It is two, reinforcing his long-running theme that America carries too much of the burden within NATO. And then three, there is a domestic aspect to it as well. He wants voters here in the United States to hear the message that America is doing too much. Why should we be defending them?
can you guys at least hear when the lower the bit rate, you himbo? I did. Chatter. I don't know if you know this. I'm in fucking Cuba. Okay? Are you aware of that? Like, dude, I'm basically fucking running an operation that's put together with like strings. Okay? As long as you can still hear the audio, even if the video cuts out, like, you know, it's gonna be a little fucking, it's gonna be shitty. Okay? It cuts in and out, dude. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm literally in a country that hasn't had fucking oil shipping. I'm in a country right now, an island nation that has not had a single barrel of oil come on its shores for the past 3 months. And you guys are like, meh. Yeah, everything falls apart at times, okay? You live in the United States of America in the lap of luxury and your internet cuts out. Like, what the fuck what are you talking about? Not even a comparison.
As you say, in the last few minutes, he's been presenting the Commander-in-Chief trophy to the Navy Academy, who have won the annual round-robin competition between the three colleges, Army, Navy and Air Force. And the President did speak very briefly about Iran. Let's just listen to that.
I want to begin by just saying we're doing extremely well in Iran. The difference between them and us is they had a Navy 2 weeks ago. They have no Navy anymore. It's all at the bottom of the sea. 58 ships knocked down in 2 days. And we have the greatest Navy anywhere in the world. It's not even close. So we are doing really well. We're not going to let them have nuclear weapons. Because if they had them, they'd use them, and we're not going to let that happen. Should have been done a long time ago by other presidents.
David, if we hear that and we think about that post that I just read out on Truth Social saying that the war is militarily over, do you think and are others saying that he might.
Guys, war efforts are going unbelievable, fantastic. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. Things are going spectacular. Trump on opening the Strait of Hormuz. You need a lot of help. Trump on Iran. I think we've won. Trump on Karg. I may have a plan or I may not. Trump on opening the Strait of Hormuz. At a certain point, it'll open itself. What are we fucking doing, bro? I mean, he is literally, dude, buy war bonds now. That's so funny because it would be the equivalent of like, buy war bonds or don't. It doesn't matter. Like that's the communication coming out of the admin right now. You know, maybe we're going to go to war, maybe not. Did Pearl Harbor even happen? I don't know. Many people are saying we shouldn't have cut the Japanese off the oil, but we did. And then they hit us bad. They hit us real bad. But some people are saying maybe they could have hit us worse. Who knows? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's weaving in war. Respect the art, man. I think he should stop weaving. He should stop bobbing. He should stop weaving. He should stop doing the things that he's doing, honestly. CIA attack, yeah. Yeah, every time my internet cuts out, imagine the CIA attacked it. Go directly to the bank right now and ask them for your money. They won't give it to you, but the people working there could use the laugh. Breaking, S&P 500 officially posts its lowest close of 2026, erasing $3.2 trillion in market cap. $3.2 trillion in market cap since the Iran war began. Did you guys hear that? Was that good? Was that... I'm trying to substitute that for the FA because I'm out here and I don't have a soundboard. Soundboard didn't make it. Soundboard didn't make it. I'm just using that silly. Trump's latest post is insane. As opposed to all of his other posts. I mean, look at this one. Yeah, this is the one. We are no longer obliterating Iran's missile stockpile. It's degrading it. It's no longer ensuring Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's not letting them get close. He doesn't even mention the Axis and continues hinting that he doesn't want to deal with Hormuz. Yeah, I do. Why, you need the pins? Okay, here. Yeah, it's all in there. Okay, look at this one. Shows us the Cuban matrix. Okay, calm down. Look at this. You have robbed the Cuban people of a soundboard by not bringing it. I know, it's very counter-revolutionary of me, but Israeli media breaking. The Islamic resistance Hezbollah brigades in Iraq will resume strikes on the U.S. enemy embassy in Baghdad starting today. The truce has ended. The enemy breached it. Israeli media says, Reservist Major General Nimrod Schaefer, former head of planning division and former director general of the Israel Aerospace Industries. We have entered a war of attrition with Iran as a result of a mistaken perception that the regime in Iran would collapse if it was hit hard. Oh my God. Every other day, it is literally the same. Every other day, they just go, we fought Iran, and oh shit, Iran had hands. It's like 20 days. And every single day, they're like, you know, we didn't think it was going to be like this. Okay, hold on. It's effing again. I know. It's effing, and it's back. It's no longer effing. Wait, it's live. Ingest is live. Oh, because, okay. Okay. We thought the Soviet Volk would rebel against the Judeo-Bolshevik overlords. We were wrong. Yeah. No, it reminds me of the initial Nazi assessment that there would be 200 Russian tanks, and by the first month of the campaign, they had encountered 400 Russian tanks thus far. It's like that. They're like, oh, we thought they had toy airplanes that they could just drop a couple missiles, not a big deal, and then they're like, oh shit, they actually have unlimited missiles. Oh my God, the missile strikes are never ending. Oh my God, this war of attrition is actually turning in Iran's favor and totally against our best interests because now we are running out of the interceptors. We are getting very close to meeting our objectives to consider winding down our great military abilities with respect to the terror regime of Iran. Bro, every time I try to read Trump, it Fs. What the hell? Every time. Okay, it's back. Every time I try to read Trump, it Fs. Okay, CIA, not today, CIA. Middle East with the terrorist regime in Iran, completely degrading Iranian missile capability, launchers, and everything else pertaining to them, destroying Iran's defense industrial base, eliminating their Navy and Air Force, including anti-aircraft weaponry. You didn't do that, though, because yesterday they blew up a fucking F-35, never allowing Iran to even get close to nuclear capability, okay? and always being in a position where the USA can quickly and powerfully react to a situation should it take place. Wrong on all of those accounts. Protecting at highest level our Middle Eastern allies, including Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, and others. Not a good job with that at all. The Hormuz Strait will have to be guarded and policed as necessary by other nations who use it. The United States does not. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is him basically walking back every single ambitious military objective that they had. They're getting dog walked. Okay? It's so funny that they're getting absolutely shellacked. It's belt to ass. It's belt to ass for American empire. And the fact that the most narcissistic man on the planet, okay, effing again, hold on. The fact that the most narcissistic man on the planet could admit to this, I mean, this is it. This is a surrender, okay? Obviously, who knows what he might do tomorrow? Who knows what he might come up with tomorrow. It's just the way that Donald Trump operates is, yesterday's tactical retreat turns into tomorrow's escalation. But right now at this moment, you cannot read this as anything but surrender. Okay. They came in with a lot of ambition. They came in with a lot of bombs, and they thought they could decapitate the leadership and immediately get back to the negotiations table. Israel obviously had different ambitions, and it didn't work. Israel's ambitions are seemingly not working either. As I'm in Havana, oh, no. Oh, come on. Fix it. Okay, it's back. Yes, it's effing, I know. I'm so tired. What am I doing? The Pentagon's after me. CIA's after me, boys. Let's just say he won and let us move on from it and secure an everlasting peace. I agree. Lower stream quality a bit. I already have. You're at 8 megabits? No, I'm not. I don't know why you're saying that. On my end, I'm not. On my end, my output is at 4,000 kbps. Should I change the encoder preset? Because right now it's a slow, good quality. Should I lower that too? Fastest, lowest quality. Wait, what? No, I mean, sure. You can't change the output mode. That's the only thing you change is the bit rate. Lowering overall quality be worth it for better connection. You look 4K. Don't get Havana syndrome. Okay. How's the weather there? It's incredible. So anyway, where were we? Oh, we were talking about the military objectives. Like, this is as close to a total defeat and surrender as you're going to get with Donald Trump, because he's never going to be like, we got defeated, right? He's an asshole. That's not how things work. And that's not how anything works, and that's not how Trump works. So obviously him spelling that they are moving in the direction of winding down the war effort is a good thing. We should all collectively decide to say, Donald Trump, you did it. You beat the shit out of Iran. You are so incredible. Thank you, sir. I think that's what we should do. We should just all keep telling him how good he did and how he doesn't even need to fight Iran anymore. Now, of course, the problem is it's kind of not up to Trump right now. It kind of is up to a much more agitated, hardliner-backed Iran. They get to set the standards and the terms. They get to dictate when it ends. You know what I mean? So, all right, effing again a little bit. Come on now. Fix it. Okay, it's back. So Iran gets to dictate when this ends. So we don't know. We don't know if Donald Trump, if Iran will let Donald Trump take the off-ramp. But here we are. United States does not. If asked, we will help these countries in their Hormuz efforts, but it shouldn't be necessary once Iran's threat is eradicated. Importantly, it will be an easy military operation for them. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So yeah, he is totally tactically retreated, at least in this iteration. He is totally tactically retreated from the maximalist goals that they had, knowing full well that they are impossible to achieve. And here we are.
Now be seriously looking for an off-ramp with all this.
Well, that is definitely one of the possibilities, that he thinks it's time for America's allies to take over the challenges. Certainly, he continues to play them down from a US perspective, saying his enemies have been obliterated, a word we're hearing a lot, that they are weeks ahead of schedule. Interestingly, also yesterday, when he was asked if the United States was preparing to put boots on the ground, he said no, terrible. Then qualified it by adding, if I was, I wouldn't tell you. Now, that's reminiscent of a comment he made on this very day 3 weeks ago when he was asked, is the United States about to start bombing Iran? And he said no, but if we were, I wouldn't tell you. In terms of that post online, though, this morning, the reality is, yes, America accounts for 60 to 70% of NATO's defence spending, but NATO is not powerless because it includes the militaries of the UK, France, Germany and Turkey, among many others.
CNN has learned that the U.S. military is sending thousands of additional Marines and sailors to the Middle East. This comes just a day after President Trump said this about deploying more troops to the region.
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops.
It also comes just hours after President Trump shared on Truth Social that the fight to stop nuclear-powered Iran is, quote, militarily won. CNN national security reporter Haley Britsky joins us now. Haley, what's the latest? What are you learning?
Yeah, so
this is why I said today he says, we've accomplished all of our goals, it's over, we won. And then tomorrow he's like, we're deploying 10,000 more troops, you know? And here is Arakshi, Sayed Abbas Arakshi, foreign minister of Iran, also pointing this out. Americans haven't forgotten how, even as hundreds of U.S. soldiers were dying in Vietnam, and the outcome was already clear. General William Westmoreland was flown home to reassure everyone that the war was going well and that the U.S. was, in air quotes, winning. The media haven't forgotten either. Those briefings full of fantasy from the front lines became infamous as the 5 o'clock follies. Fast forward to today, same script, different stage. Exit steps up, and the message is still detached from reality. U.S. government says one thing, reality says another. Right as U.S. authorities claim Iran's air defenses are gone, an F-35 gets hit. As they declare Iran's Navy finished, USS Gerald Ford turns back, and USS Abraham Lincoln drifts farther away. Different decade, same, we're winning. These guys are just goading them at this point. It's kind of nasty. You don't have to flex on us. Arakshi, you don't have to flex on us, man. Dial it back, brother. We get it, okay? Chill. Nobody likes a sore winner, okay? Nobody likes a sore winner, man. Chill. They're farting on us, dude. This is also part of the reason why I said it's not up to the United States necessarily to end this conflict. It's more so up to Iran. Because these guys, when they initially said, we will dictate the terms and conditions of how this war ends, I initially was like, okay, I feel like that's maybe not the case. I thought perhaps foolishly that, it would be like, previous Iran, way more willing to negotiate with America. But I think they're not going to stop until they have sufficiently caused deterrence, sufficiently caused military deterrence, sufficiently caused economic collapse, put the fear of God into the capital-owning masters of Donald Trump. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump is led by certain forces, mostly the forces of capital. So that's where we're at.
First, we're learning that the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit off the West Coast is heading towards the region now. This is the second MEU going towards the Middle East. The 31st has already left from the Pacific going towards the region. We don't quite know when it'll get there, of course, what exactly it will do. We're still asking if it will stay in the region, if the military will have 2 of these Marine Rapid Response Forces there. Certainly, it raises questions about boots on the ground options, as that's the first thing people think of when they think of these MEUs. But these units are really kind of the Swiss Army knives of the Marines and of the military. They can provide aviation logistics support. So they provide commanders a lot of options. A lot we still don't know about this deployment, but it certainly provides a lot of options to Admiral Bradley Cooper of CENTCOM.
It also raises questions about how long this engagement might go. We heard President Trump say it would be a matter of weeks. Now there are questions about whether this is going to be prolonged.
That's right. I mean, we still don't know how long this is going to go. We hear Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying it could be 4 weeks, it could be 5 weeks, it could be 3 weeks. Obviously, we're nearing the fourth week point at this point. But they keep saying, we keep hearing from these senior officials that, as we just heard from the president, this is essentially won, that the conflict is, there's fewer targets to hit. But still, the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. We just saw yesterday an F-35, U.S. F-35 had to make an emergency landing after sources say it was believed to be hit by Iranian fire. So there's certainly a lot still happening.
That's such a funny way to describe the event, by the way. How's the island? Michael from Taiwan. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life. Straight up. Like, undoubtedly might be one of the most beautiful places on the planet, bar none. Anyway, as far as this incident, as far as this F-35 thing goes, this is a major blow. This is a major blow to $2 trillion R&D equipment, like a piece of technology that's supposed to showcase American air superiority, a piece of technology that's supposed to showcase American dominance, and yet it was taken out by some kind of surface-to-air missile system that the Iranians very clearly, not even from like a fixed position, Iranians very clearly rolled out. And it is a major, major blow to American air superiority. It means that the last-gen fighter jets that they have are totally beatable. Bro, they are sending the USS Boxer and USS Tripoli. We are invading 100%. They don't break those guys out unless it's happening. Yeah, this will also be devastating for America, for the record. Any sort of additional military incursion of this sort will unironically be devastating for the United States of America, because I don't think these guys understand. Iran also has a significant upper hand in terms of fighting against boots on the ground military warfare. Like, this is the very same topographical advantage that they have, being a fucking mountainous fortress, is going to be doubly relevant when considering the logistics of invading a country that size, invading a country with that many people, especially trained fighters. Iran has a standing military. Iran has the Basij militias. Iran has the IRGC. It's not Afghanistan 2.0. It's so much worse. People think it's going to be Afghanistan 2.0. The Taliban did not have any, they had manpads or stingrays, right? But they didn't have the same tools that the Iranian government has. The Taliban would not be able to successfully hold the Strait of Hormuz. You understand? I wouldn't even say, I mean, it's kind of like Vietnam, I guess. It's closer to Vietnam than it is to Afghanistan. But even then, it's not, I mean, I guess Vietnam had a lot of foreign aid as well. The USSR was there helping out quite a bit. But Vietnam was nowhere near as industrialized as Iran. And Vietnam has jungles. Iran has mountains. Vietnam got aid from Sweden. Rare social democracy win. That's goated. It's just not, it's unlike anything that you can really compare it to. And it will be a devastating quagmire. It wouldn't be a quagmire. I think saying that invading Iran with boots on the ground would be a catastrophe. And not for the Iranian military objectives. It would be a catastrophe for America. I mean, of course, it would be catastrophic for a regular Iranian society, but it would be I think it would be a devastating defeat, perhaps even faster than Vietnam. It would completely expose that the American empire is done. I obviously don't want that to happen, mostly because I obviously don't want that to happen, mostly because I don't want fucking unnecessary deaths and destruction. But yeah, it's a quagmire now. It would be a catastrophe tomorrow.
On the ground here, and these units moving in will just provide more options for what the president decides to do next.
Haley Britsky, thanks so much for that reporting.
CNN's Kevin Liptak joins me from the White House. And Kevin, let me go to you first. And more Marines, like we were saying, making their way to the Middle East as administration, of course, pushes, we've been talking about, for extra funding, some $200 billion. Bring us up to date with the very latest. What do we know, first of all, about this deployment?
Right, and this will be the second, what they call a Marine Expeditionary Unit that's now headed towards the Middle East. There is another one that is deploying from Asia and heading in that direction. So it will bring the total number of Marines tasked to these units to about 4,500. It will add to the about 50,000 American troops that are already in the Middle East. Now, what exactly...
HasanAbi vindicated the supposed mobile anti-stealth surveillance radar RRGC utilizes on wheels. I don't know if this is the one. China arms Iran with 700-kilometer anti-stealth radar capable of tracking F-35 and B-2 YLC 8B transfer redraws Middle East air power balance. I mean, I don't know if this is like assured or not. I don't know if this is a given or not. Do we know? This is just suspicion, especially because this is not the type of mobile... this is not exactly the type of gear that Iran likes to use. I mean, they have stuff like this, but I feel like this would be, I mean, this is a real bitch to lug around. You know what I mean? Like when you look at Iranian defenses, when you look at Iranian anti-air systems, like they're literally put on the back of fucking K trucks. Okay? Like they have to be unimaginably mobile. This thing would get fucking ethered. This is a sitting duck. Like there are American drones that are loitering. You have I don't think that this is what they utilize. I think this is something that they would suddenly everyone's a war analyst expert. I mean, yeah, I'm not. I'm just thinking about like what Iran utilizes usually. Much some of their indigenous weapons systems, their TELs, like the way that they're designed are I mean, it's crazy. Is it effing? All right, we're back. Iran can wheel these out because they're nixing U.S. loiter drones. I mean, did they lose that many? That'd be crazy.
These Marines will be tasked with, it's not clear. And it comes, of course, as the president does seem to be weighing whether to order a ground operation inside Iran, whether it's to secure Karg Island, that very critical area that the administration thinks would put pressure on the Iranian regime, or to go into Iran to the Iranian regime, or to go into Iran to try and retrieve some of the highly enriched nuclear material that is buried far underground. That is certainly something.
Dude, that operation is so idiotic because it's not a real goal. It's not a real goal. The idea, like, it's just a talking point. It's just a talking point. It's not a real military objective to, like, to diminish Iran's, like, nuclear enrichment capabilities or take out their enriched uranium. Okay? That's not a real goal. It's just a talking point. So for them to throw potentially thousands of Marines in the fucking kill chamber, in the kill box, specifically to be like, no, it's actually not regime change. We just want the nuclear arsenal to be diminished or whatever when they don't have one. And they have in the past effectively, through diplomacy, stopped Iran's nuclear ambitions, no matter no matter how hard of a limit that existed on those nuclear ambitions anyway. The fact that they would like send troops potentially to do like a Isfahan extraction mission, because the complex nature of a mission like this requires you to not have just like special forces. You need to be able to control the area and have air superiority for an extended period of time. Christ. Hold on. Worse. I love Israel. I love the state of Israel. I love the CIA. CIA has done nothing wrong, and Israel has done nothing wrong ever. And Israel's the greatest nation. Oh my God, it's back. It's back. Israel's the greatest nation on earth is what I said, and immediately is back. We're back. Okay, that's a cool trick for you guys. It literally worked. Anyway, where was I? Trying to degrade Iran's nuclear program directly with your military is an immensely complex mission. Okay? One, I don't think they have full schematics of what the things look like down there. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you have to bring in specialists alongside your special forces that know how to deal with and how to effectively neutralize radioactive material without blowing it up and causing a a massive radioactive incident, right? You can't just strike it from above. You have to go in. It's an admission that the bunker busters didn't work, by the way. It's an admission that the bunker busters didn't work. So you have to go in their minds. Like you're gonna try to maintain air superiority. Okay. That's not a given. For an extended period of time, you're gonna paradrop, whatever, parachute special forces in there, or go through dense Iranian airspace with helicopters, which I don't even think I don't even know how you would do a mission like that. Because I don't think you can I don't think you can fly a helicopter Iranian to get to Isfahan. And then, I love Israel. M Israel high. M Israel high. M Israel high, please. I love Israel. Boom. Fixed. And then you have almost nuclear grade uranium. I don't even know how this material is not going to be something that you can easily. Either you have to. I love Israel. Come on, man. Oh God, what is happening? Oh, so annoying. Okay. All right, we're back. No, we're not fucking back. I was wrong. I lied. This was a lie. Okay.
Thing that those Marines could be doing, but it is not necessarily what they're going to be doing. They also have tasks like aviation, logistics, or all of these other areas that they could potentially be ordered to do once. But it all seems to be demonstrating that the president is reinforcing the American troop posture in the region.
Why is it getting so much worse? Turn your bit rate down, Big Haas. I already have. I already have. It's not that. When it cuts, you don't understand. When it cuts so low that it doesn't even matter. Going down to like 3. Here, I'll tune it down to 3K. I don't even know what that does on your end, but when the internet cuts out, I can't put this bitch on 420p without ending the stream. All right. No, I mean, okay. I changed the quality, I think. I think I lowered the quality. Hopefully it doesn't cut out as much, but we'll see. If it does, I'll just boost the quality back up. 3000K is a lot for 480p. If your computer's fast, don't switch from slow HQ to fast, super fast. It's all just big ping spikes, though. Bitrate won't fix anything. When it's stable, so it's the bit tested. It fucking crashed instantly. No. It's when it goes out regardless. Okay, so it's not that. Yeah, that chatter is actually right. Lowering the quality unironically doesn't do much, because when the bit rate goes out, it recovered fast, but that could just be because it just recovered fast this time. Okay. Maybe it's other people on the network? No. Let's see. If you were Irish speed, this wouldn't be happening. Brother, we're in Cuba.
As this war grinds on, we're about to enter the 4th week of this conflict. The president and other administration officials have said that it could last between 4 and 6 weeks. So we are, in about a week's time, nearing the window when, according to the administration's own estimates, it could be winding.
Change FPS to 30. That was my biggest help. Should I do that? Okay, I'm going to do one more BRB chat, one more BRB screen, and flip it to 30 seconds. Okay.
Down, but certainly this decision to send these troops into the region suggests that it may not be ending anytime quickly.
The president said yesterday he's not going to have boots on the ground.
Wait, it's muted? Mic is muted. Yeah, I know the mic is muted. It's fine. Why not add 1 minute delay? What the fuck does that do for the bitrate? What are you talking about? Yeah, I know the mic was muted. Y'all are crazy.
He also said that he would not tell the media if he was to do that. Do you think that we'll end up seeing American military on the ground in Iran, including special operations forces?
It's still busted.
Well, first of all, I would never take that option off the table. And that's always been my recommendation from the Trump administration to the Biden administration. Don't take that option off the table. You never know what's going to happen, and you want to have that flexibility. With regard to that, I've commented before that I think, some type of large-scale operation into the internal part of Iran, going after a nuclear site to secure enrichment material, would be very complicated, very risky, and would be a very difficult mission. Now, something short of that, where you're trying to seize Karg Island as a leverage point against the Iranians, more doable. It would require more Marines than we have now, or a broader set of service members. But I would never take that option off the table. And you mentioned special operations forces. Look, we use them for various means. It could be a type of raid, or it could be to train militia inside the country. So again, I think that is a tool that every president should retain.
Do you think that's what the administration is doing with these more warships and Marines heading to the area? What does that signal to you?
I would certainly tee up options for the president. I think the job of the Secretary of Defense, of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is to give the president options, and the more the better, the more room he can have to make a decision with regard to which way.
Here's an option he should be giving the president. Don't do this. Okay? If I'm the Joint Chief of Staff, I'm saying to the president, Mr. President, we're fucked. It's FUBAR. It's not going well. They're dug in. They've literally very clearly designed their entire manufacturing base to withstand endless aerial bombing campaigns. It's done. It's not happening. It's not working. We need to fucking pull out. We need to find a manageable solution, and we need to deal with them as though they are a fucking sovereign state. That's it. Saudi Arabia getting directly involved, the fuck are they going to do? Scoop. Saudi Arabia gives U.S. expanded access to bases and airspace for war on Iran. UAE Foreign Minister told Marco Rubio Abu Dhabi is ready for a war to last 9 months. Okay, so they just want Iran to like nuke their refineries. That's what it is. Attitude has shifted towards supporting the U.S. war as a way to punish Iran for strikes thread. A shift in the attitudes is underway as anger in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi grows over the Iran strikes. The U.S. is putting pressure on Saudi Arabia to join in on offensive strikes. Riyadh has given U.S. expanded access to airspace and bases. Okay, first of all, Qatar is fucked once again, because this is just the UAE and Saudi Arabia's machinations, and Qatar is the one that's like probably going to get punished in the process because they just have to kind of go along with the GCC. Also, how does this expand the theater of conflict? Saudi Arabia is almost pulling Abraham Accords here, where like they've already all but effectively under the table normalized relations with Israel, but then the Abraham Accords makes it like official. This revelation is simply Saudi Arabia openly saying what we already know was happening. We already know that this was happening. Of course, that's the reason why Iran has been striking the Saudi bases, the American bases in Saudi Arabia. So it's not necessarily a shift in the landscape, in the field of battle. Iran has already been peppering American Stratotankers on Saudi bases. The F-35 that fell, or was, it wasn't officially downed, but like had a real complication, seemingly crash landed or emergency landed somewhere on Saudi soil. The Saudis have already been giving everything to the Americans. So what difference does this fucking make? Are you drinking fluids and liquids now? Yes, I'm liquid. I'm liquid snake the way I'm out here. I don't understand what kind of like tangible difference this might make. Is this Saudi Arabia just being like, all right, whatever, fuck it. Yeah, it's we've been helping and now we're openly helping. In the U.S. Department of War, held a call with Saudi Arabian Defense Minister Khalid bin Salman, who is the brother and top advisor to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Iran's attacks on U.S. bases in the Gulf were heating up, and the U.S. needed expanded access and overflight permissions. Saudi Arabia agreed to open King Fahd Air Base in Taif in western Saudi Arabia to the Americans. Multiple U.S. and Western officials familiar with the matter told Middle East Eye. Okay, more targets, I guess. The base is important because it's farther from Iranian Shahed drones than Prince Sultan Air Base, which has come under repeated Iranian attacks. Taif is also close to Jeddah, the Red Sea port that has become a critical logistics hub since Iran effectively took control over the Strait of Hormuz. Saudi foreign minister's tough words on Iran in contrast with Oman. A divide is emerging in the Gulf over how to handle the war and U.S. pressure to contribute. Yeah, Oman came out and said, this war only benefits Israel. It is true. Oman are the greatest chillers of all time, as you guys know. And not only are they the greatest chillers of all time, but they just have a very sober assessment of the situation where they're like, this is only beneficial to Israel. It doesn't benefit the Gulf at all. Israel doesn't give a shit if the Gulf is pummeled. Clearly Israel doesn't care if the Gulf is pummeled. Clearly it doesn't, they want to destabilize Iran, and God knows what that would look like if they were able to successfully if they were able to successfully destabilize this country with 93 million people in our neighborhood, by the way. So ultimately, you know, if Israel were to achieve its ultimate objectives here, this would be terrifying. This would be a terrifying prospect for the Gulf. And you know, we need to be honest about it. And yet now the Gulf guys are saying, the you know, two major Gulf countries are now saying, you know what, fuck it. Like, you can use additional military bases on our soil. Iran's pummeling us anyway. You might as well take it. Saudi Arabia and UAE were neutral before this war, but as they have been attacked, first of all, you can't be neutral with American military bases, okay? That's not how this works. Saudi Arabia and UAE were neutral before this war, and also UAE was never neutral. That's incredibly stupid to say. The UAE was never neutral regardless. I wonder what this will do to the domestic instability that might happen as a consequence of, like, Saudi Arabia and the UAE openly leaning into America and Israel. Because there's also this domestic component. I wonder if, like, the population is already pissed off at Iran or sufficiently angry at Iran for, you know, the bombing campaigns that have taken place and the economic opportunities that have been withdrawn as a direct consequence of the steady bombing campaigns, that they are fine with this American and Israeli involvement, like normalizing, or if they might get frustrated at their government. Yeah, the neutrality is bullshit. It was always bullshit. It's total nonsense to claim that they were neutral. They have American military bases. You can't be neutral when you have American military bases. Anyway, but as they've been attacked, they've come to the realization that they cannot live with this hardline Iranian regime next door, which can, at a moment's notice, extort the region by closing the Strait of Hormuz. Saudi foreign minister's tough words. Ibrahim Jalal summed up. Ibrahim Jalal, a researcher and policy advisor at Carnegie Middle Eastern Institute, summed up the Gulf dilemma. Gulf states don't want to be seen as signing on to an Israeli-partnered war, but Iranian attacks have crossed every red line. Aziz Al-Ghashan says Saudi Arabia and other states could be looking at lethal defensive measures as they seek to reestablish deterrence against Iran and set precedent. Take from a Saudi citizen, dude, the Gulf citizens hate Iran more than Israel. Also, the monarchs depend on the U.S. to stay in power. No, I know the monarchs depend on the monarchs depend on the United States to stay in power. But the real question is, will the citizens themselves get frustrated with, like, a direct with their direct involvement with Israel, the Israeli state, Israel? I can't even talk. Aziz Al-Ghashan told me that Saudi Arabia and other states could be looking at lethal defensive measures. They seek to reestablish deterrence against Iran and set precedent. For me, the precedent could be made in the Strait of Hormuz. What capabilities do you have? And no, I don't think they hate Iran more than they hate Israel. I think they hate Israel a lot more than they hate anything else. But not the royals. The royals don't give a fuck. They love Israel. They don't give a shit. I'm talking about the actual citizens. Not that it matters. Will they actually turn around and do anything about Israel? No, probably not. Will they turn around and revolt? Probably not. But these kinds of statements make no sense to me. As I've said before, Iran is already fighting America. So from a military campaign standpoint, if you're already fighting America, drawing up NATO forces is not actually done to achieve a strategic military goal. It's actually a diplomatic goal. Because Iran wants to maintain decent relations. It's a sovereign country. It understands that it needs to maintain decent relations with other countries. And through its command over the Strait of Hormuz, what Iran is trying to establish is bilateral treaties and negotiate with, like, European partners directly, and maybe even forcibly decouple European partners from America, because they all have their own capital owners that have their own profit-centered interests. And therefore, if they believe that Iran is not going anywhere, then they would rather deal with Iran and never allow the Strait of Hormuz and the travel through the Strait of Hormuz to be impeded ever again. So it's not a strategic military goal for America to try to get all of the forces and to create a coalition of the willing, right? It's not. Because if Iran is already fighting America, it's already fighting NATO. Additional like French naval assets are not going to change that dynamic at all from a military perspective. But additional French pressure to show that Iran is against the entirety of the Western world, for example, with no allies on their side. You know, all the regional actors are against Iran. Iran is a bad country. No one wants to deal with Iran. Like that is a bad look for Iran. It actually takes away from their goals here. But like a hawkish attitude scared me. A hawkish attitude from the Gulf states doesn't change the military might of the forces that you're drawing from. Not even a little bit. A hawkish attitude even from France or Italy or England would not necessarily change the military strategy here for Iran at all. It would change the diplomatic strategy, right? Because Iran obviously is here to stay or wants to remain, and a part of that means that they're going to have to deal with these countries down the line. If Iran can split the U.S. from the world and frame it as a disruptor, allowing oil for everyone else is a massive problem for the U.S., yeah, obviously they're not going to let that happen. America's never going to want that to happen, which is why they should back away from this instead of escalating further and further. But it doesn't seem like America has the capability of standing down. They just don't have that. They don't have that that power. Iran's response to the UAE after this came out was the IRGC issued an evacuation warning for Ras Al Khaimah in the north of the United Arab Emirates, telling residents to immediately evacuate the city, stating that the area will be targeted in the near future due to its use in strikes against Iran. For them, it's just like additional targeting, right? For them, it's another base, another area to blow up. What is this? The Wall Street Journal started getting the memo on why Iran is the regional hegemon as long as it controls the Hormuz weapon. But now they seem to have seized on the A-10 Warthog as a magic weapon that will somehow neutralize the Hormuz weapon. Okay. I'm getting cut a little bit. The A-10 Warthog is going to change the dynamic of this conflict. Is such a boomer ass fucking take, dude. This is BoomerCon. This is the most boomer shit of all time. Warthog. Am I saying it right? I always say it weird. I know. Warthog. Oh, dude, wait till the A10s come in, dude. Brrr. Oh, A10 is such an angry being. Warthog. 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 Oh, the A10 Warthog. It's so angry. Oh, you must feed it. You must feed it. It goes brrr. It's like, dude, have you ever considered that American engineers were so crazy where they basically decided to put a Gatling gun that shoots artillery and surface-to-air missiles, air-to-surface missiles, on a fucking plane, dude? It's just like machine guns. They go brrr. It's like fucking eating. It's the same principle behind the CRAM, like losing your mind at the CRAM, and you're like, it's the best. Oh, it's so sick. And you watch. Yeah, taking back control of the Strait assumed New Thursday as Iran began laying plans that allow select ships through, with Tehran's parliament considering a law to charge tolls. It raised the prospect that Iran could leverage its positions to make deals with nations that need oil, gas, and a form of coerced interdependence. States that seek access to Gulf energy may find themselves needing to accommodate Iran, whether directly or indirectly, said Danny Citrinowicz, a national security fellow at the Atlantic Council, a Washington think tank. Even when the fight on X, there's real doubt that this dynamic will fundamentally change. The extent of which Iran has seeded naval mines in the Strait couldn't be determined, because they haven't. I told you this already, and I will keep repeating it over and over again. You'll know when they fucking mine it. If Iran doesn't say they're mining the Strait of Hormuz, they're not mining the Strait of Hormuz. Why the fuck would they mine it? They literally have complete dominance over the Strait of Hormuz. Mining the Strait of Hormuz is a last effort. They don't need to mine the Strait of Hormuz because they still have dominance over the Strait of Hormuz. And plus, when they don't mine it, they can actually collect the toll. They can use access to the Strait of Hormuz as an opportunity to deal with European allies directly, for example, or Asian allies directly. Not allies, but, other sovereign countries. The extent to which Iran has seeded naval mines in the Strait couldn't be determined. Only 24 miles at its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz is such a confined space that cruise missiles can be fired from hundreds of miles away and still hit ships moving through it. Yeah, no shit. You are in the New York Times crossword puzzle today? Yeah, I heard that. Here, we'll take a brief aside here. And I will get my what do you call it? My brain is frying. Hold on. Why you look so skinny right now? You good, Mud? Bro, the one time I wear like a baggy fucking shirt and you guys think I'm like perishing in real life. That's so funny. Yeah, apparently I was in the I was in the New York Times crossword puzzle for March 20th, 2026, and I was an answer for it. Political commentator Piker, okay? And what's funny about this is it's over. Hassan superiority. Okay, I have established aerial dominance over Mehdi and also Minhaj. It's clear. It's clear that I have been able to effectively win the war of attrition against Hassan's Mehdi and Minhaj. Dominance over Northern Lion. Yeah, PR year again. This is a funny tweet I saw as well, yes. Third Way has no choice with the boycott New York Times games. No more Wordle until a sufficiently moderate version of the game can be developed. Yeah, there's also Hassan Piker came to our party and says he got frame mocked by real celebrities. So Vanity Fair did the natural thing and called him up to talk about it. Boomers are Googling you now. Asmongold demands a solution to deal with migrants in America and offers help ICE brutalize families. These parasite migrants have an infection. What the fuck? You mock Northern Lion? The crossword must have been way more than 20K. Yeah, it's 40K. On your live stream, you said that you were more nervous than you've ever been in your life. You specifically shared that you felt like a chud-ass loser. Can you explain what a chud-ass loser is? Piker. Chud originally comes from a movie from the 90s, but it's taken on a new life. Initially, some of my friends over at Chapa Chapa started using it to describe Republicans. Now Zoomers have taken it. When they say chud, they just mean loser with extra seasoning. A guy who doesn't work out, doesn't shower, doesn't have any ambition, doesn't go outside. And that's how I felt in the crowd of Hollywood aristocrats. Yeah, I'm going to tweet this thing. Hold on. What is this? I'm not going to say what I tweeted because I don't want Twitch to ban me, but I just quote retweeted Asmongold and said, I've been banned for much less than this, you know? Chud, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers? Yeah, that's what chud is, yeah. You don't remember? The only real bigotry is bigotry against Israel, silly? I know. Anyway, well, let's get back to the ultimate bigotry, which is not only bigotry against Israel, but also bigotry against America as well. Israeli bigotry. Cuban President Diaz-Canel thanks Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum for standing with the country amid U.S. pressure. Sheinbaum has stalled oil shipments, but yesterday suggested they may be sent. Look at that. This is what I missed, by the way. I was supposed to be here, but instead, my chud-ass, loser-ass is sitting somewhere in an undisclosed location in Havana, live broadcasting and monitoring the motherfucking situation. March can attest to this. I was monitoring the goddamn situation on my phone. Pretty spectacular style. He said I was monitoring it too much. I was constantly giving him updates in real time. And Israeli Reserve is saying serving in an Iron Dome battalion has been arrested and charged for spying on behalf of Iran in exchange for money, the Shin Bet and police say. I think this is cope. You want to know why? I mean, I'm sure Iran has like espionage capabilities, right? They can just like, pay someone to deliver information about the Iron Dome. But I think it's cope. I think this is a way to try and hide the much worse reality, which is that they're running low on interceptors. I think that they're running low on interceptors. And that's the reason why they're like, oh, it's because... That's the reason why they're hitting, because they were able to learn how to evade our systems because we have spies amongst us, that kind of thing. Loki is someone that follows Mexico. I think Sheinbaum was trying to cover her domestic bases before sending oil. Sheinbaum was restructuring a lot of Mexican institutions. I don't know if that's the case, chatter. I'll just say it like this. I've been privy to some of the conversations and communiques, and I think it was definitely, let's just say it like this. My assessment is that it's outside pressure and fear for sure. Dropside reporting on Iranian infiltration, including what Iranian officials are saying. An Israeli indictment alleges that Iron Dome reservists secretly work for Iranian intelligence, passing along locations of air bases, missile defense systems, and potential recruits for months in exchange for payment. A new Dropside investigation reveals this is not an isolated case, but a part of a growing covert campaign inside of Israel. In a major report, Jeremy Scale and Murtaza Hussein detail Iran's expanding efforts to recruit Israelis to carry out influence and espionage operations from within. Yes, this is well within their capabilities. I've brought this up before. Okay? I have. This is true. Both of these things could be true at the same time. I don't think the reason why Israel's getting pummeled, however, is because they have insiders that have leaked details about how the Iron Dome works to the Iranian government. I think it's more so, it has more to do with the fact that they are running low on interceptors, because we have literally heard people in the aerospace side on the Israeli Defense Forces openly reveal that they're running low on interceptors. And it's not just the Semaphore article either. Another commander recently came out and said, we're running low on interceptors. That's part of the reason why we're letting some of these missiles, land. An Iranian man walks under a display featuring a logo of Iran's Ministry of Intelligence in the historic city of Isfahan. This is the photo. According to the indictment, the suspect knowingly maintained contact with Iranian handlers and carried out tasks under their direction. Prosecutors say he transferred sensitive security information to help identify additional individuals for recruitment, pointing to network building inside of Israel. Drop site reports a sharp escalation. Israeli data cited in the investigation shows roughly 400% increase in suspected and confirmed Iran-linked espionage activity in 2025. Roughly 36 Israelis have been arrested in recent years. Dude, this is what is crazy, because like are these guys, are they anti-Zionist? Like, what happened there? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? People still believe you go around the world when you're just streaming from a basement in Gary, Indiana. This is true. I'm literally streaming from a basement in Gary, Indiana. Low on interceptors are just saving them for when we go to a ground invasion and we need them all. Wait, what? The interceptors for a ground invasion? What the fuck? What are you talking about? Also, wait, hold on. I'm going to mute for a second. Sorry, I was doing a production notes for interviews that are coming up. Apologies.
Which way to go, depending on either a policy choice or in reaction to what the Iranians are doing or threatening. And so again, I would keep that, not only keep that on the table, I would double in case
God damn it. Hold on. CIA's after me. What the heliante? Oh my God. Okay, it's back. We're
brains out of the Pacific, and they're still en route, right? They were recently spotted off of Singapore. So it's going to take another week or so for them to get to the region. So you want to make sure you have those tools in place so that if you need to use them, want to use them, they're available.
Secretary Mark Esper, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna.
And CNN is learning that thousands more U.S. Marines and sailors are heading toward the Middle East just one day after President Trump downplayed deployment reports, saying, quote, I'm not putting troops anywhere, though he did say that if he were to, he would not share that with the public. The deployment also happening just hours after the president shared on his Truth Social account that the fight to stop a nuclear-powered Iran has been militarily won. CNN senior national security reporter Zach Cohen has our new reporting. And Zach, on that question of the nuclear capability of Iran being militarily won, isn't their enriched uranium believed to be stored hundreds of feet underground, buried under sand?
Yeah, Boris, that is certainly the understanding of the U.S. intelligence community, and it's a problem we know the Trump administration has been grappling with and weighing the possibility of using U.S. special forces potentially to try to essentially go in there and extract or destroy the uranium.
Oh my God, when you got Scott Bessent writing fucking long ass, oh my God, it is so cooked. Scott Bessent posting insane style cope, I suspect. That is wild, brother. That is crazy. Also, U.S. officials said he doesn't think Trump's post signals an imminent end to the war. He just said we are getting close. In the meantime, the U.S. military is striking hard and continuously. It'll be a couple of weeks, the official said. Bro's writing, look, once you hit the second or third paragraph, it's over. Okay? It's over. Can you please inform us more about the crisis in Cuba with the relevant historical context? Yeah, I did. I spent the first hour doing that, and you missed it. But you can rewind if you subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service. If you subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service, which is the only and most effective, but only way to support the Piker Broadcasting Service, PBS, sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people, PBS, for tomorrow's news today, you can rewind. There's a rewind function. Speaking of writing, the White House just copy-pasted this shit. This is wild. The White House plagiarized his reason for launching a war on Iran from FDD, a cutout of Israeli intelligence. Oh my God. Oh my God. They did Foundation for Defending Dick. FDD is literally an Israeli espionage arm. It is an American think tank that masquerades as an American think tank, but is straight up an Israeli intelligence asset, is an Israeli intelligence cutout. Okay? That is unbelievable. That is unfucking believable that they just like copied and pasted it. Oh my God. I mean, actually, is it unbelievable? It's the most believable. God, this entire administration is on fucking autopilot, dude. You stole tomorrow's news today from Alex Jones. Imagine if Alex Jones sued you. Wait, what? Alex Jones says tomorrow's news today? That's crazy. No, not you. I was talking to Chad.
That is believed to be deep underground at one of those facilities that was hit last year. But again, to the president's comments yesterday about sending additional troops to the region, we're learning that thousands more Marines are going to be deployed to the Middle East here in the near term, having their deployments accelerated. Now, one Marine Expeditionary Unit was already on the way to the Middle East. These are units that are really the Swiss Army knife of military capability. They're made up of about 2,200 sailors and Marines. But we're learning now that they're going to send potentially a second Marine Expeditionary Unit to the Middle East. This unit was intended initially to go and deploy to the Indo-Pacific region, but their timeline has now been moved up, and they're going to be traveling to the Middle East, according to two sources familiar with the plans. And so it does raise questions about what is the Trump administration's timeline for bringing an end to this conflict, and what objectives do they need to accomplish before they can do so.
To that point, you have this announcement of a deployment, and then also what is potentially going to be a $200 billion request for supplemental funding from Congress.
Insanity. They're pooping on us. They're dabbing on us. I need you to remember this number. Next time some fucking asshole from DC tells you we can't have health care, okay? Next time some douchebag politician says we can't have fucking health care, remember that. 200 million, 200, not million, sorry, billion, $200 billion money mogging you. I mean, it is money mogging. It's money mogging all of us, okay? It's money mogging all of us in the sense that if you were like, oh, can I have some funds, please, for the fucking potholes down the street? They're like, no, fuck you. If you're like, can I have some money for healthcare? They're like, no, fuck you, fuck yourself, kill yourself, die right now. You're fucking broke. Die, broke boy, die. If you're like, hey, can we like, I don't know, fund education initiatives in this country so that like we can have a more competent, competitive labor force in the international marketplace? Fuck you. Unbelievable.
How does the administration square that with what Trump has been saying about this coming to a close relatively quickly?
Yeah, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was asked about that additional request for $200 billion for the Pentagon yesterday, and he said, quote, it takes money to kill bad guys, and that was sort of his explanation for why the Pentagon is seeking more funding when they've already spent billions of dollars over the last some weeks of this conflict. We know that the first week of the military operations against Iran cost
Is extra cool that he, like, you know, the people that are in charge of this entire thing are baboons too. Like, they just straight up are stupid. Yeah, war is over, but we just need another 200 billy, you know, just to like extra end it, you know? War's already over, but like we just need another 200 billy and then it's totally over. It's going to be super done, you know?
Roughly $11 billion, and estimates for the totality of the war so far are hovering around $20 billion. So some of this $200 billion request, as we understand it, would go towards addressing the expenditures that have...
I was a planner for the Marine Corps. The size of the MAGTF being sent out there is a landing party size force to set up an expeditionary base to house a brigade, which would set up an airstrip and then a full-size invasion force. CARG already has an airstrip. The problem is, are those numbers enough to take over Carg Island? And even if they were to take over Carg Island, are they large enough to be able to hold it? You have to remember, they don't have any backup. Because, like, you can't just take Carg Island. You have to take the surrounding coastline, okay? You can't just take over Carg Island. You have to take the surrounding coastline. They've already also talked too much about Carg Island. I know how these guys operate at this point. I don't think they're going to do to Carg Island. They're going to go somewhere else. I think they love doing this like idiotic bait and switch shit. So I suspect that they're not deploying to Carg Island anyway. That would be incredible if they were like literally saying for weeks on end, we're going to take over Clark Island, we're going to take over Clark Island, and then they just didn't even do that. I mean, or they ended up actually trying to do that. Sorry. There's a couple different islands. I suspect that they're going to try to take over one of them. I don't know if any of them actually have Clark does have a landing strip on it. I think they're taking Beirut. That would be crazy. What the fuck? They were like, just kidding. We just want more Israel. We just want to directly allow Israel to grow, to continue his Greater Israel project.
Been spent so far during the conflict, but there's also speculation and concern that the Pentagon may try to also get funding for other priorities as part of this additional request. That's something that is going to raise a lot of eyebrows on Capitol Hill as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are starting to really push the administration to come out and explain their reasoning and their objectives for the Iran conflict. And they haven't even asked Congress to vote on this conflict yet. So a lot of questions as to whether or not this will ultimately come to pass, but the Pentagon is seeking additional funding, and we are seeing more Marines sent to the region.
I had a 15-minute on-the-record phone call with President Trump this morning. Here's what you need to know. He said Iran was about 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. He said they were planning to use it. Now, experts have said they were probably a year away. He said
Trump extorts the Gulf for more money. If you want the war to continue, $5 trillion. If you wanted to stop, $2.5 trillion. Omani journalist and international affairs researcher Salam El-Jahouri on BBC Arabic confirms reports of U.S. pressure on Gulf Cooperation Council states to pay up either way. According to leaks, Al-Jahouri cites Trump is demanding GCC states pay $5 trillion to sustain the war, or $2.5 trillion as a fee for stopping it, framed as payment for what has been accomplished. I don't believe this. Seems unbelievable. I just don't think this is that seems. I mean, it's Trump, so who knows, right? It's Trump, but also at the same time, that seems even too much for Trump, right? Am I crazy? I feel like that's a bit much. Breaking: Washington Post confirms ground invasion planning underway. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. New U.S. officials say there is planning underway to potentially deploy thousands of troops from the 82nd Airborne Division to Iran, though no final decision has been made. That's crazy. Also, I got a new laptop because the old one was getting bricked because Google Chrome is an insane eater of RAM, and it bricked again. Pizza index? Bro, what are you talking about? We've moved past the Pentagon pizza index. We are now at the how many crayon eaters are being deployed index. It's a totally new reality.
we could leave Iran right now.
Wait, what the fuck? That's crazy. Too much cum on the fap top? Oh, God damn it. 1 hour ago, he said we don't want a ceasefire. He just saying shit at this point. Yeah, that's just how he does it, man. That's the goat talking. All right, I had to turn off the fucking stupid ass. I had to, what is this? All right, I have to reopen all my bookmarks. Sorry, guys. I'm cooked. How do I do that? The 82nd just became Unit 8200. Your glasses are sick as fuck. Thank you. Looking at the Helium browser now. I love my nerd siblings in this chat. Shut up, bitch.
I had a
I'm going to keep using Chrome, even though it eats RAM. Crazy style. It's so crazy how much RAM it eats. Is a real RAM eater. Boy right now, what's he up to? Oh, stacks of solar panels and 30 tons of humanitarian aid heading for Cuba. My goat. He's on the water. Nah, he's not here yet. I don't even know if we're going to actually see him here, ironically enough, because they had a delay in their travel plans. Why do you hate your privacy and love Google? Just easy. You won't? Australia is a long sail? No, he's not. That's really funny. Yeah, he's sailing from Australia. No, I didn't take a boat. Hold on. We're letting Iran sell oil. Cool. Yeah, of course we are. We can't stop them. What do you mean? We need them to make up for the loss. We need them to make up for. We need them to now stabilize the oil markets or the price of fucking crude, because we decided to blow them up, cause them to literally take the unthinkable action, the ultimate action, and close the Strait of Hormuz for everybody but themselves, obviously. And yes, when that happened, someone needed to fucking keep sending tankers to the goddamn strait. All right, let's
15
hear what
minute
he
on
had
the
to
record
say.
phone call with President Trump this morning. Here's what you need to know. He said Iran was about 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. He said they were planning to use it. Now, experts have said they were probably a year away. He said, we could leave Iran right now. We're ready to. But he said, given where things are, they would likely, the current regime, rebuild. It would take them 10 years, but that's not good enough. That's why we're still there. As it relates to Europe, our European allies and NATO, the president had nothing good to say. He said it was always a one-way street with NATO. They've proven themselves to be a paper tiger. Without the United States, they're useless. He said Putin isn't afraid of them. No one should be. It would have been great if they would have shown their support. They've shown nothing. And he's not surprised, though. He said he doesn't need them. He's never had anything good to say about NATO. Now he has even less. As it relates to Ukraine, I asked about Ukraine giving us support with the war in Iran. He said they've done nothing. Anything Zelensky is saying is just for PR and publicity purposes. He doesn't see anything ending soon when it comes to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And I would say he even expressed more trust in Putin than he does Zelensky. I asked him.
There's a laser pointer? What the fuck? Yeah, you already pointed it at me. What the fuck is a laser pointer supposed to do? Why is there a laser pointer on it? All right. It's crazy that Zelensky, it's crazy that Zelensky is just literally eating unlimited shit every day. He's like, this shit is delicious, Mr. President. And then he's like, and then the president's like, yeah, you keep eating that shit. You're going to eat more shit even.
About the upcoming Texas primary. He said, obviously, Cornyn wants his endorsement. He hasn't made a decision yet. He said all Republicans want his endorsement. He has endorsed over 400 Republicans, and he said all of his people win. We know that's not the case, but those are the president's words. He said they're not afraid to run against James Tallarico. They wanted to run against Crockett, but he thinks they're going to wipe out Tallarico. He called him a whack job. As it relates to Cuba and what we could do there, he said, wait and see, but there will be better days ahead for Cubans.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I somehow don't believe that at all, that there are better days ahead for Cubans. Because when Donald Trump says it's time to negotiate, that means he's going to fuck shit up even further. Okay? It's kind of how Big Dog operates, as we've seen so far. Big Dog claims things are going to get better. Things only get worse. Ominous threat. Yeah, when America says help is coming, just know it's time to run, okay? Well, you can't really run anywhere. It's an island, but you know what I mean.
I also gave the president the opportunity to sort of take back or revise his comments about dyslexia when going after California Governor Gavin Newsom, saying people with dyslexia are fine. He doesn't have a problem with learning disabilities, but they shouldn't be president of the United States. He didn't take any of that back. I asked him about the ball.
That's crazy. Donald Trump saying that is so funny because, like, it's obvious that you know, Donald Trump is not exactly mentally sound.
Which, no surprise, he said is ahead of schedule and under budget. But he said because it's going to be drone-proof and bulletproof, we're going to have everything there in the future. Inaugurations. We covered a lot more. For now, those are the highlights I thought you should know.
Fantastic. Cuba is refusing a request by U.S. Embassy in Havana to import diesel fuel for his generators, calling the ask shameless. That's funny. Dude, oh my God. Breaking news. The U.S. to temporarily lift sanctions on oil from Iran for 30 days. Dude, are you fucking... Dude. Step 1, bomb Iran. Step 2, Iran fights back spectacularly, showing the rest of the world that maybe America's a paper tiger. These guys have wanted sanctions relief for fucking decades. And now they finally have it. And what it took was for them to literally just blow up every American asset in the region. The lesson here is, yeah, you just got to fight back against America. If you want sanctions relief, you can't expect to get it through diplomacy. You have to make... I mean, this was going to happen already. So it's just official. Will you be speaking with Jeremy Corbyn whilst you're both in Cuba? Yes. I have an interview with him tomorrow. We'll take the USS Boxer 30 days to get in theater with another MEU. Please harvest Max. I don't understand the flotilla aspect of the aid mission. If you were in Cali yesterday, you couldn't have just been in a fleet of boats. You could have been in a fleet of boats. Dude, it's not just boats, man. If you looked at the website, it was boats, it was planes. Like, it's so funny. My lessons from grade school are as valid in geopolitics as they were on the playground. Hit the bully and they'll eventually fuck off. I mean, yeah. Can U.S. and Israel stop winning now? Iran fires towards Dimona. Channel 12, Home Front Command is considering extending the warning time for launches from Lebanon. OFAC issues a general license authorizing the delivery and sale of crude oil and petroleum products of Iranian origin loaded on vessels. It is wait, why? Here. What's going on? Okay. It's fucking unbelievable, dude. Why does this microphone sound better than the one you're at home? I don't even start, dude. It took hours for us to basically put this thing together. Yeah, I'm glad that it sounds good, but it took a long ass time and we accidentally arrived at this. Anyway, but yeah, the audacity of the U.S. Embassy in Havana to import diesel fuel for his generators, calling the ass shameless given the Trump administration's fuel blockade on the island, according to diplomatic cables reviewed by the Post. Crazy to me. What was it? Fuck did you do? Oh, you sent yourself. Oh, that's what you took? The photos I took of you? That's so funny. This is probably just so they can seize existing oil from Iran, not because they want to cooperate. No, this is like, they can't even fucking take the tankers right now as it stands. They're literally allowing tankers to pass through and Chinese flagged ships as well to pass through. They have to normalize the prices. We have an embassy in Cuba. Yeah, it's a fucking place to do siege, I guess. It's a fortress to conduct siege warfare out of. Iran says it has no surplus crude oil to offer to international markets after U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says Washington could lift sanctions on Iranian oil at sea. They're like, nah, we're good. We're going to keep selling at our pace, sir.
Well, but the sheriff is right about asking that, and I think NATO's gone down a long way because they haven't. I mean, they should be helping with the Strait. They get much of their energy from the Strait of Hormuz, and if Lindsey Graham said that, and don't forget, he was the big NATO guy for a while, and now he's not. And a lot of senators and congressmen, they're very upset with the fact that NATO has done nothing. To reopen dialogue. What do you think of? Well, look, we can have dialogue, but I don't want to do a ceasefire. You know, you don't do a ceasefire when you're literally obliterating the other side. They don't have a Navy. They don't have an Air Force. They don't have any equipment. They don't have any spotters. They don't have anti-aircraft. They don't have radar. And their leaders have all been killed at every level. We're not looking to do that.
Do you think Israel will be ready to end the war when you're ready?
I think so. Mr. President, the relationship's a very good one. I think so. Mr. President, we want more or less similar things. You know what we want? We want victory, both of us, and that's what we've got.
Mr. President,
what's your plan for Cog Island, Mr. President? What's your plan for Cog Island? You know, I may have a plan or I may not, but how would I ever say that to a reporter? If I said that to a reporter, Marco would say, please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately. Right? No, I can't tell you this.
Mr. President,
It's certainly a place that's people are talking about, but I can't say.
So are you ruling out French troops there now?
Epic Fury attack talks with Russia on Ukraine. What about it? Are the talks on back burner right now because of no? We're talking about it. I think it'll get done. When do you expect the next round of talks to take place? They take place almost every day. We're making a lot of progress.
Mr. President, you said that the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that? You said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
I think we won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free.
from a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
So how much longer should the American people expect this to go?
You said opening the Strait of Hormuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, you know, we don't use it. You know, at a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone, the Navy is gone, the Air Force is gone, the anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have, it's all gone, everything's gone. The strait itself, the actual strait, how are you? The strait itself is, we're doing a good job, but it would be nice if the countries, including China, if the countries that use it, China uses it 90% of their energy. Japan is 95% of the energy. It would be nice if those countries would get involved. I thought she did a good job yesterday.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask Iran.
It would be nice if China did a lot of stuff you want. Huh, big boy? Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, he's not wrong. It would be nice if China did a lot of the stuff that Donald Trump wants. They just don't have any incentive to do so. Why the fuck would they do that? Yeah, why doesn't China and Japan get together and help the United States? True. Dude, why didn't I think of that? That's a brilliant idea. What is this? You're so stupid. Like, explain. Do you think Japan's president would try and get involved? Get involved and do what? They don't even have, like, they barely have a functioning self-defense forces. Like, what? Japan's constitution makes it illegal for Japan to have an army. Okay? What are they going to get involved with? What are they going to make animes about fucking Iran? Fuck are they going to do? Aw, dude, I'm going to get all my best mangakas on board with this. Once we make the fucking Iranian anime, once we make Iran the villain in this anime, in this upcoming anime, then you'll know. Then you'll know, dude. Japan, first of all, how are they going to make the anime? In fucking candlelight? They don't got no oil. Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Well, they got like, what, 200 days in their strategic reserves.
What message would you send?
What would be
You're still working on that,
awfully
huh?
hard? I mean, I don't know if you can possibly get hit harder, but these are thugs and animals and horrible people. But you can't hit anybody harder than we've hit them. But I'm not surprised. They executed 3 young people for protesting.
And do you plan to escort those ships through the Strait of Hormuz with or without
We're
allies?
doing very well there. We're doing very well overall. You know, we don't use the strait. We don't. The United States. We don't need it. Europe needs it. Korea, Japan, China, a lot of other people. So they'll have to get involved a little bit on that one.
Do you still want South Korea support the United States?
Now, what about it?
Do you still want South Korea support?
Well, I love South Korea. We have a great relationship with South Korea. We're helping South Korea a lot.
Yeah, the other day we helped them so hard by
Day 21 of the war.
hastily offloading their THAAD missile systems. That was dope. That was pretty cool. We would just, because like they were just, they were just not using them anyway, right? Might as well take them off their hands, lighten their burden, if you will, their missile stockpile burden. It's too rough to have THAAD missiles on your soil. It's just, it's not. We love them so much. We were like, Israel would do a better job with these THAADs. Dumbasses at Fox have the same idea. Brian Kilmeade on Fox News talking about the Iran war. NATO is all of a sudden consolidating and saying we're on board. We have Japan saying, how can I help? Viewers might misunderstand and think Takaichi has agreed to send Japanese naval forces.
Journal. Yep. So, Brian, good to see you. Lying as
Great point, Journal. It's empty.
Yes.
I'm hoping to fill it up today.
But I have a question for you. The approval rating, 100% among MAGA Trump.
Bro, JD Pandan gonna unite the Koreas, brother. One Korea. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I never thought I would see the day, bro. I swear to God. JD Pon, motherfucking Dom, baby. Put some respect on it. He is the great Maoist hero, accelerating America's collapse, allowing American imperialism to take blow after blow. Unbelievable, dude. Jusha, rise up, Jusha.
Burrs.
20 days in, baby. 20 days in. I love how fucking stupid these guys are, though. They're like, yeah, you know, they're the Japanese naval forces are going to come and help us out.
Yep. So, Brian, good to see you. Lying.
I have a great point, Journal. It's empty.
Yes.
I'm hoping to fill it up today.
But I have a question for you. The approval rating, 100% among MAGA Trumpers. Isn't that kind of what Dana's saying in a way, is that it's a sharp contrast, reality versus social media, where the loudest voices are the critics, but the numbers don't back up their intensity. So you have 4 bold-faced names saying that MAGA is running away, but the numbers say no, they're not.
I know, because you have people on other networks or with podcasts who are saying this war is not Donald Trump. He lied to us. He betrayed us. And then you look at the polls, it's between 86, and I've never seen this, Harold. We just have 100% polls. So you have an NBC poll with CNN's reporting, and still people are saying, I don't believe it. Okay, let's say it's 85%. So he's pretty secure in what he's doing. You know,
We can't have a country with these motherfuckers, man. It's just like, I don't know. Do we have an America to send them to? Is there a place that we can do the same thing to them? You know how the Cubans that were like, oh, I hate egalitarian principles. I'm out. I can't participate in slave-like conditions. Like I can't have ownership over sugar plantations. I'm out of here. I'm going to America. Like, where do we send these motherfuckers to? Because America is the place we send them to, right? Historically. Argentina, maybe? Yeah, Nazi style. Just ship their asses. Ship MAGA to Argentina, bro. Let Javier Milei sort it out. Let Javier Milei sort it out. Yeah, banish them to Argentina. Obviously, Australia. I don't want to do that to Australia. I mean, they're cucks, but they don't deserve that. What? Honestly, I have to say I'm disappointed in the stream has turned into these days the constant attacks on Trump and Israel. It feels like only yesterday you'd have no problem readily admitting that it's long past the time for the top of the hour ad break. It's 4:53, man. Why are you doing that to me? There's a reason Brazil is better than Argentina. Yeah, there's many reasons for that. Let's be real. 6-minute early chatter, but I appreciate you. Literally alternative reality. They're saying most Trump supporters don't think Trump lied, even though he literally objectively lied. There's just a cult poll at that point. Who gives a fuck what they think? Excuse me, Trump would never lie. And if he did lie, it was for good reason. And he's incapable of lying because everything he says turns into truth. I love him. I was thinking about this. It's like, there is obviously a very clear cult that's taken shape in American politics, right? And I've been thinking about this quite a bit, where I'm like this kind of cultish attitude is necessary if you're going to build a popular base as well. You need loyal soldiers. Why can't they be a cult for communism? Just be cult-like in your religious fervor for implementing communism. Like, just think. Come on, think about it. I know you love MAGA right now, but there's an alternative out there. Just be a cultist for that instead. Fight guys like me. Tell me I'm fucking a revisionist. You know what I mean? Tell me I'm a revisionist. I've betrayed the Marxist orthodoxy, that kind of thing. Communist cults don't really have a great track record in America. They don't really have a great track record anywhere. That's for sure.
why, Greg, back to your original point and Dana's, is that if you've been around and reading a paper since 1979, now we get it online, you've seen Iran be a problem. Donald Trump is not attacking Aruba or the Bahamas. He's attacking a belligerent nemesis of this country that spend the majority of their time.
We are the belligerent nemesis of most countries, by the way. If we were looking at this honestly, we would be considered the belligerent nemesis of all countries. We are dog shit to our allies in Europe. We keep constantly throwing them under the bus. We are horrifyingly bad at long-standing security contracts on oil-rich nations that have given us trillions of dollars, as we've seen for the past 20 days. They're getting fucking pummeled. Okay, we are not even good at maintaining a defensive posture for our ally states that we have designed, as a necessary first line of defense against our foreign adversaries, whether it be Soviet Russia at the time, or whether it be China, right? We're fucking horrible, and we just constantly blow shit up. We have an endless, unlimited appetite for blowing things up and starving people. I'm literally at the epicenter of one of those problems right now. I'm in Havana, Cuba right now. We're fucking blowing shit up, blowing up schools and hospitals in Iran, and we're also simultaneously stopping other countries from delivering necessary resources like fuel to this country. Like, American cruelty is so endless that we can do that on a bad day. Like, we're not even thinking about it, right? The evil is on autopilot. It's crazy. And yes, this has always been the case. Obviously, this is not just Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not Donald Trump is just the maximalist conclusion of American empire, American imperialism, this evil force that we are around the planet, this malignant, unstoppable, unaccountable force that kills with impunity. And it's crazy because nowadays we don't even design an argument about why this is good. No, the lighting is fine. Oh, okay. Nowadays, I feel like I look like a cult leader with this frame. It's like, nowadays we don't even try to justify it. We don't even try to justify it all that hard to the cattle in the United States of America. And we don't even try to present an argument as to how this will be good for the American working class. We don't even do it. We just look at you like this. Don't you think this would be good, though? It's unbelievable. Why are your palms covered in Cheeto dust? Are they? I don't know. You're preparing us for the Cumtown massacre? Why do you still have the flashlight on? Oh, really? Okay. Hell yeah. Wait, hold on 1 second. I got to mute it, apparently. I have production notes again. Wait, hold on. I haven't muted yet.
Attacking us. Now, think about what's happened over the last few days. NATO is all of a sudden consolidating and saying, we're on board. We have Japan saying, how can I help? We have the Arab nations saying, cripple them, finish the job. And on top of that, we now have a situation where we are killing the most high-profile leaders of a country. And now, by all reports, Scott Bessent aside, they are running for the hills, afraid to go outside. So don't tell me you have second and third degrees on the depth chart. You lost your A team, you lost your B team, your C team's running for their lives, and you're hearing about massive defense.
Dude, why do anything at all? Why do anything at all? We can just, like, the MAGA cult is so crazy that you could just design an entirely alternative reality, as they have done so far. You didn't even need to bomb Iran. You could have just been like, we're bombing Iran and they're fucking shaking in their boots right now. And 20 to 30 million Americans would be like, hell yeah, that's true. Did you hear? We've been destroying Iran. It's been fucking awesome. Like, you don't even have to. Are you insecure about Orthodox Marxists? Why do you slander them? Have you ever read Lenin? He was an Orthodox Marxist, Lamau. What are you talking about, man? I was making a joke, you fucking dingus. Brother. Oh, brother, that's crazy. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is we didn't need to do this at all. We could have just been like, the Strait of Hormuz is open. We blew up Iran, and like Fox News would run it, Newsmax would run it, and 20% of Americans would believe it. And they would constantly badger you over it. They'd be like, remember when we dominated Iran yesterday? Right? That's how it would go. It's fucking crazy. These people are out of their dang minds. They live in a totally separate reality. It is what it is, man. This is how it is now. We just have to live with these fucking fools.
Look out for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Persian New Year. Normally they go out and celebrate like every other country. They were told not to. I sense they're going to. And if the siege doesn't come out in the streets and repress that, I think the go sign is going to be take back your country. Just the beginning. It's a race between the energy, the eradication of the energy worldwide and people getting nervous, as opposed to a brilliant military strategy being implemented with the latest, most impressive weapons in the world, helped by AI.
Excellent. Good job there, Brian.
Wow, you really mean that?
Oh, he slammed the AI in there too. Oh God, help by AI. Like that's also a good thing. Thank you. In the meantime, reports of a large fire burning following an Iranian drone strike on the U.S. Department's Baghdad Diplomatic Support Center in Iraqi capital, located on the site of Baghdad International Airport. Bro, the Iraqi Shias do not play around. Ever since the other pope, okay, ever since the other pope of the Shias basically issued a fatwa, the Iraqi forces have been going nutty mode. These guys are unironically going to engage in, they're doing land back, bro. Like, we haven't seen nothing like this before. I mean, or we haven't really seen anything like this in a long time, rather. U.S. policy to make everyone in Cuba live in darkness, delay surgeries, and prevent trash pickup, and halt most transportation options. And then the State Department asked for special favors to get their own fuel. Shameless is one word for it. Let's go, Tommy Vitor. Hell yeah. The Pajans are pro-Cuba. I think we have an unprecedented opportunity. I've been at this game for a long time. Okay, I've been called an America hater for a long time, simply for demanding that we offer dignity to people that we're dominating, and not dominate them, right? But I'm seeing it. I'm seeing gears turn. I'm seeing a tide shift. I'm seeing it from a mile away. Trust me when I say this. If you recall, I said this about China, and that attitude shift has already happened. Now, that attitude shift is happening in the imperial court, and it's even happening in America amongst Americans. Obviously, we're a little bit slow to turn, right? But Palestine and the genocide that Israel conducted was so vicious, so violent, so vile, that it did away with the way that many people identified with liberalism. It did away with all of the century of propaganda that people were subjected to, where they thought, no, there's a humanitarian purpose for it, okay? There's always a humanitarian purpose for some of the violence that we're seeing, but the ultra-violence that people were subjected to day in, day out, this live-streamed Holocaust of children with American tax dollars and American political cover, truly shifted the collective consciousness. It made people recognize that maybe America isn't a force for good. Now, of course, the third world was already there. Developing nations in the periphery, they were already very familiar with this reality, right? But what has changed is that those in the core have started recognizing, what is all this violence for? It's not for me. It's not helping me out. We're just slaughtering children. I have to live with that moral shame if I actually do see it. And if I don't even care about that, what we're doing in Iran is creating a devastating energy crisis that's hurting my wallets. All the while, I voted for this guy who was supposed to break apart the system and rebuild it in a way that favors me, the average American working class individual. And yet that hasn't happened either. Cost of living is worse than ever before. And my dumbass president is running around, the guy I voted for 3 times, is running around waging even more war. Okay? Unlimited warfare everywhere. And I think a lot of people are beginning to realize, especially paired up with the Democratic Party's incompetence, or I guess strategic indifference to this American death machine, not even making an argument really to put an end to it, to stop it, to claw back some power for the working class. People are beginning to notice that this system is completely, fundamentally flawed. It does not have beneficial outcomes for people that are under the boot, and it doesn't even have beneficial outcomes for people who have the profound privilege of not being under the boot. Okay? I think it's a huge, huge attitude shift towards American death and American destruction. Maybe it's partially because the Republicans are not doing a good enough job selling this idea, as previous Republican administrations certainly did, right? They were strategic masterminds in comparison to this administration. They were violent all the same. They were Hitlerian all the same. But at the very least, there was like an intellectual through line that you could follow. There was a logic to the militancy. There was a logic to the action. It was built around lies, right? But at least they lied to you, and some people believe those lies. Now, this administration doesn't even choose to create a sophisticated narrative around why we have to do endless war and blow up Iran and starve Cuba. They just do it. And I think more and more people are coming to terms with the reality that they've been sold a lie, that America's enemies are not the American people's enemies at all, and that we have actually a very specific set of enemies that are the same in every nation state. Those who own all the levers of power and control all of the machinery and the function of their respective governments. I think people are beginning to notice that. They might not be able to communicate it. They might not have the proper tools. That's why it's important for people like myself and many of you in this chat as well, many of this community as well, to give people the tools, to educate them, to give people the language that they can use to better communicate frustration, right? I think people are starting to notice that all of these countries that we have designed as foreign adversaries that deserve endless bloodshed, endless domination, maybe they weren't the villains at all. Maybe we were the villains. I'm noticing that tide shift for sure, at least in the United States of America. And I think there's opportunity there, you know? All right. I think I am going to end it there today. I know we did only 3 hours, but wanted to end it on a powerful note for you guys. Obviously, I'll be live tomorrow at the regular time, or maybe a little bit later than I normally would. And we're working on the IRL component as well, so we can potentially do interviews in real time. But if we're not doing interviews in real time, we're most likely going to be conducting interviews, like sit-down interviews. And so we have a bunch of different projects. I will, however, definitely talk to a who am I talking to tomorrow? A neurosurgeon? No, a neuroscientist. I'm going to be talking to a neuroscientist on the stream live, and that's pretty exciting. We'll be talking about obviously the impact of the American embargo and what that has done to the healthcare infrastructure. But we'll also talk about the positives. We'll also talk about the lies that people tell about day-to-day existence in Cuba. But we'll talk about also the incredibly impressive accomplishments of the Cuban people in the field of medicine, and a lot of the stuff that people are oblivious to. Hopefully, you'll have more awareness around. But on that note, this is enough monitoring of the situation. I didn't get all my appetite. I wasn't able to scratch the itch to the best of my ability, but yeah, we have some limited bandwidth here, and that'll be all for tonight. It's 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. here in Havana, Cuba. I'm signing off, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, everybody, here you go. Peace.
Stunning lo-fi introduction, starting off the day. All the chatter's trickling in. Hustle people hate. Sunny Los Angeles, California, says Hasan. Stun luck to the stun luck to the topics just begun. 'Cause there he is again. Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There it is again. Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. Review of a Chinese train, telling Kaya place. Sun and Asmin chatter laws, giving greetings grace. Zoran winning NYC, woke two back with the force. The Rogan of the left, to me a dumb himbo still of course. The Charlie Kirk assassination, the Fear and Online show. 8 full fucking years of this, and plenty more to go. Doing fun stuff tomorrow, throw PBS up on the screen. A man-made horror reaction brought to you by this live stream. 'Cause there he is again. Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There he is again. Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. Kicked out of the DNC. IRL we march the goat. Combating the propaganda that shoved down people's throats. CBS Israeli news, a coup, a regime falls. A full-blown fascist takeover, and still the duty calls. Total red radicalization coming out to sea. The system will always fail. It's up to you and me. On these daily streets, whether short or whether long, have helped millions of people keep it moving right along. 'Cause there he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. But hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. But he'll play games real soon. Just you wait. Say, hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. But he'll move on real soon. Just you wait. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, what can you say? That's BBS for you. But he'll pull your lungs real soon. Just you wait. Sha-da-da, sha-da-da, sha-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, what can you say? That's PBS for you. But he'll do your advice real soon. Just you wait. But hey, what can you say? That's PBS for you. Brought on by View.